Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Hokage. Naruto, I have god-level selection system and unified the ninja world. Chapter 21. In the ward next door, just when everyone was happy about Shaoli's recovery, Urzuzi looked indifferent. Sakura wanted to care about him, but he ignored him. Looking at the indifferent Urzu, Sakura couldn't help but sigh, not knowing why she suddenly had a strange feeling. In the past, she liked Urzu very much, but recently this feeling has changed wonderfully. As for what exactly changed, she herself can't say. At this time, Nijuko ignored herself, and Sakura had to leave the room silently. When he walked out the door, he happened to meet Tsunade and Naruto, who were coming out from next door. As soon as she saw Tsunade and Naruto, Sakura immediately ran over. That, Tsunade-sama. I think. Sakura suddenly swallowed, and both Naruto and Tsunade were puzzled when they saw this. Hey, Sakura, why are you swallowing? Just say something. Is Urzuzi bullying you? Do you want me to help you beat him? Naruto saw that Sakura's face was already flushed, so he spoke first. Only after hearing Naruto's words, Sakura hurriedly shook her head. The next moment, I saw Sakura hurriedly bend over Tsunade, then turn and run away. Half of what he had said earlier, it was gone, leaving Tsunade and Naruto standing in place at a loss. What's going on with this girl? Tsunade frowned. Well, I think she probably wants to worship you as a teacher. It's a pity that I didn't dare to say it. It's all to blame Tsunade, mother-in-law, you are too fierce, scare people away. Naruto joked, but soon the top of his head was slashed off again by Tsunade's fist, and immediately swollen into a large bag. Ah, it hurts. Old woman, can you not hit the head every time? Quote. What if you beat me, stupid? I'm Konoha's future. Naruto grumbled, only by this time Tsunade had already turned away. At the moment of leaving, the corners of Tsunade's mouth rose slightly. Obviously, she liked Naruto, a mischievous guy, very much, but she didn't say it. Seeing Tsunade leave, Naruto also became a little bored, so he left the hospital. So hungry. It's time to eat. Quote. The dead old woman doesn't leave me to eat. Quote. Forget it, let's go eat Ichiraku ramen. Naruto said as he walked towards Ichiraku ramen. At Ichiraku ramen shop, Iruka-sensei is eating noodles. Just as he was halfway through his bowl of ramen, Naruto finally walked in. At this time, when he saw Iruka-sensei, Naruto's eyes couldn't help but light up. Yo, Iruka-sensei. Long time no see. Quote. Uncle Trouble, give me a bowl of ramen. Count on Iruka-sensei. Quote. Naruto first greeted Iruka-sensei, and then asked Uncle Ichiraku for a bowl of ramen. Seeing this, Uncle Ichiraku also immediately began to get down, and seeing this, Naruto sat down next to Iruka-sensei. And just as Naruto sat down, Iruka-sensei couldn't help but roll his eyes. Naruto, you guy, recently, I heard that you are improving very fast. Quote. It really didn't disappoint me. Forget it, this time should be a reward for you, I will treat. Quote. Iruka-sensei said and pulled out his wallet, but just as Iruka was about to pay the bill, Naruto shouted again. Trouble uncle, add an extra bowl of ramen. Iruka-sensei treat. Quote. As soon as Naruto's voice came out, Iruka-sensei suddenly grabbed his neck and shook it. Hey, Naruto, don't go too far. I'm running out of money. Iruka-sensei was a little speechless. Almost every time he met Naruto, he was slaughtered by this kid. And just as Iruka-sensei was shaking, Naruto finally grabbed Iruka-sensei's wrist. The next moment, I saw Naruto's chakra burst out from his body in an instant. Seeing that Naruto's chakra actually forcibly suppressed himself, Iruka-sensei couldn't help but widen his eyes. Hehe, Iruka-sensei, I'm afraid you're not my opponent now. After Naruto finished speaking, with a gentle force, Iruka-sensei's hand was easily removed by him. Seeing this scene, Iruka-sensei couldn't help but be surprised. Yo Naruto, sure enough, it's progressing. Quote. It's great, now you are not the crane tail you used to be. Iruka-sensei's face was full of relief. Seeing this, Naruto decisively took out a book from his body and handed it to Iruka-sensei. Yo, Iruka-sensei, this is a gift for you. Naruto said as he ate his first bowl of ramen. And just as Naruto was gulping down the noodles, Iruka-sensei couldn't help but be curious. What kind of book is this? Iruka-sensei was about to open the cover of the book. But at this moment, Naruto's voice sounded. This is written by the Toad Immortal. I stole it from him. Sent to you. It's like a gift for you inviting me to eat ramen. Quote. Naruto continued to eat after speaking, but at this moment, Iruka-sensei suddenly spurted blood from his nostrils. And the reason why he is like this is naturally because of the book that Naruto gave him. Open the cover, and the contents are all suitable for children. Even Iruka-sensei could not resist the explosive pictures in the book. Ahem, Naruto, have you read this book? Quote. Iruka-sensei pretended to be calm, and then shoved the book directly into his arms. Seeing this, Naruto also snickered. Of course I didn't look. Toad Fairy books are only liked by you adults. Quote. Naruto finished saying and began to gulp again. Seeing this, Iruka-sensei finally relaxed his heart. At the Ichiraku ramen shop, Naruto soon finished his bowl of ramen. While he was waiting for the second bowl of ramen, Naruto started talking to Iruka-sensei again. This time, Naruto asked questions about the other attributes, chakra ninjutsu. In Naruto's opinion, since he was now proficient in all attributes of chakra, he could not waste it. If you don't learn some ninjutsu with other attributes, it's really a bit unreasonable. And Iruka-sensei happened to be Naruto's best candidate to inquire about the news. Just as Naruto asked, Iruka-sensei explained to Naruto without thinking. I have to say that Iruka-sensei is still very powerful. He soon told Naruto where there were ninjutsu about other chakra attributes. But just as Naruto was thinking about how to get it, Iruka-sensei warned. Naruto, you are not suitable for learning too much ninjutsu now, wait until the foundation is more solid. After Iruka finished speaking, he finally stood up and prepared to leave. Seeing this, Naruto didn't say more, said goodbye to him and continued to eat. And just as Naruto was eating his second ramen, Shaoli suddenly ran in from outside. Naruto, Teacher Kai said to let you train with us in the afternoon. Quote. He's going to teach you something new. Shaoli looked at Naruto excitedly, but it made Naruto a little overwhelmed. Teach me something new. Ninjutsu. Quote. No, doesn't Kai-sensei know ninjutsu? Is that teaching me physical skills? But my current strength shouldn't be needed, right? Quote. Naruto asked as he chewed on ramen. However, at this time, Shaoli did not answer, but from his expression, the more Naruto looked at it, the more he felt that something was wrong. So soon Naruto began to think about what Kai-sensei was going to teach him. Just as Naruto was thinking seriously, Shaoli suddenly turned over, and then pressed his hands on the ground and stood upside down. Yo, Naruto-kun, stop wasting time. Come with me. Teacher Kai is already waiting for you. Quote. Don't let our youth and blood go to waste. Run with me. Quote. Shaoli urged Naruto, and at this moment a picture suddenly appeared in Naruto's mind. This picture is exactly the scene of the battle between Kai-sensei and Uchiha in the previous life. Thinking of this scene, Naruto forgot to eat the ramen in the bowl. No, no, no. Is Kai-sensei going to teach me that? Quote. Naruto jumped up directly from the stool as he spoke. At this moment, Naruto was just as excited as Shaoli. If it was really Naruto's guess, it would be a lot of money. Thinking of this, Naruto caught up with Shaoli with a puff of smoke, and then the two went straight to the forest behind Konoha village. In the forest, Tiantian and Ningxi had already arrived, and at this time the two were cultivating chakra. Teacher Kai on the side kept doing push-ups, for fear of wasting a little time. At this moment, two plumes of smoke not far away quickly approached Teacher Kai's location. Looking at the two smokes approaching from afar, Teacher Kai couldn't help but get excited. Yo, the two of them are finally here. Quote. Seeing them so energetic instantly aroused my fighting spirit. I'm going to do another 3,000 push-ups. Every day Ningki, you are the same. Quote. Teacher Kai commanded Tiantian and Ningki, but by this time the two had already rolled their eyes. Soon, Naruto, led by Shaoli, came directly to the place where Kai-sensei and their practiced. After seeing Naruto again, Kai-sensei couldn't help but laugh. Sure enough, it's the ninja I fancy, Naruto, Lee. I see youth and vitality in you. Quote. Come on, let's do push-ups together and run another 50 kilometers. Kai-sensei said that he was going to pull Naruto to do it together, which couldn't help but startle Naruto. You must know that Kai-sensei is a physical monster, and even Kakashi is on par with him. Although Naruto can also do it with his current chakra, it is estimated that he will be tired and half dead. Thinking of this, Naruto decisively chose to put it on the table. Kai-sensei, that you let Shaoli call me, won't just teach me this. Quote, if that's the case, I'm going to slip away. Naruto was ready to sneak away as he spoke. But before he could take a few steps, Mr. Kai finally stopped him. Yo Naruto, don't worry, call you today, I'm going to choose between you and Shaoli. Quote, teach me the strongest physical technique, the 8 gates of Danjo. How, are you very excited? If you are excited, hurry up and move with me. Youth and blood never say die. Yo roar. Quote, Mr. Kai said and ran towards the depths of the forest. And just as Teacher Kai finished his previous words, Naruto was suddenly excited. Sure enough, I guessed right. Teacher Kai really wants to teach me the strongest physical technique, the 8 gates of Danjo. Quote, ha ha ha, this time I made a big profit. Quote, Naruto had already opened his mouth with a wide grin at this time. But just when Naruto was happy, Shaoli did suddenly speak. Yo, Naruto-kun, although you saved me, I will not admit defeat. Quote, let's compete to see who catches up with Teacher Kai first. Only those who win are eligible to learn from Kai-sensei's peerless school. Youth, blood, don't give up. Quote, after Shaoli finished speaking, he directly chased after Kai-sensei, and seeing this, Naruto couldn't help but pout. I have to say that these two guys are really energetic. At this time, just when Naruto was just trying to catch up, finally a system prompt sounded in his mind. Ding. Detection, however, the host is facing a choice. Quote, Option 1. Defeat Shaoli and learn the 8 doors Danjo. Mission reward. Demon win feat. Option 2. Give up the competition and give up the 8-door Danjo to Shaoli. Mission reward. 3 days of unluck. Listening to the prompt in his head, Naruto was speechless. Ah, do you still need to think about it? I know the choice 1 with my toes. I learned this 8-door Dunjia, after all, it was the mastery of the man who almost kicked out of the finale. As a traverser, Naruto knew the power of these 8 Dunjia. When facing Uchiha, Metkai, who opened 8 doors, can even make Uchiha feel uneasy. It is enough to show how strong these 8 Dunjia are, although these 8 Dunjia will consume life when they open to the 8th gate, but Naruto who has the system is not afraid. In Naruto's opinion, as long as he can continue to do tasks, he will definitely be able to overcome these weaknesses. Thinking of this, Naruto decisively chased after Shaoli and Kai-sensei. At this time, seeing the 3 neurotic people disappearing in a puff of smoke, Ningxi and Tiantian couldn't help but breathe a sigh. Phew, let them go crazy. Tian said. Ningxi on the side also nodded at this time. In the forest, Matkai's figure was in the front, followed by Shaoli. As for Naruto, he was left behind. Seeing Naruto fall behind, Kai-sensei couldn't help but laugh. Haha, it seems that my good disciple Shaoli is even better. Quote, these 8 doors of Danjo should be his. Come on Lee, the front is the end. I'm waiting for you there. Quote, Teacher Kai sped up again as he spoke, and Shaoli behind him became even more enthusiastic when he saw this. Time passed, and soon Mr. Kai reached the end he had set. Shaoli also appeared in front of Teacher Kai shortly afterwards. Although he was a little out of breath at this time, he finally did not disappoint Mr. Kai. On the other hand, Naruto had disappeared at this time, which made Kai-sensei a little helpless. Alas, it seems that Naruto has nothing to do with Yamen Danjo. After Teacher Kai finished speaking, he was ready to teach Shaoli the 8 doors of Danjo. However, just when Kai-sensei thought that Naruto had lost to Shaoli in the competition, suddenly Naruto's voice came from the tree. Yo, Teacher Kai, I've been waiting here for a long time. Quote, hey, I'm here before you and Shaoli. Quote, Naruto said and jumped down from the tree, and the moment he saw Naruto, Kai-sensei couldn't help but widen his eyes. Naruto, when did you run to the tree? How can I be 1 step ahead of me? That's impossible. Quote, It's absolutely impossible for me to lose. Kai-sensei obviously couldn't accept the fact that Naruto actually arrived earlier than him. You must know that even Kakashi has not been able to win Kai-sensei a few times, and the record between the two has been equal. Now he actually lost in the hands of a Naruto the size of his apprentice Shaoli, and Kai-sensei absolutely could not accept it. And just as Kai-sensei questioned Naruto, Naruto decisively pointed to the deeper forest. Hehe, Mr. Kai, I know you'll not admit it, so I marked it inside beforehand. If you don't believe it, you can go with me to see it. There are only 2 ways to get here, you should know better than me, right? Naruto said as he began to walk towards the depths of the forest. At this time, Kai-sensei followed despite his reluctance, and he also wanted to see with his own eyes where the mark Naruto made. Kai-sensei, what Naruto said wouldn't be true. Quote, this forest only has 2 roads, the distance on both sides is farther than the distance we have run, Naruto can't choose. The remaining one is the way we came, and the other is bypassed from the other side of the forest. When Shaoli said this, he couldn't help but shake his head. Obviously, bypassing this kind of thing from the other side of the forest, even Kai-sensei can't do it. After all, this forest is very large, if you want to get around, it will take at least a day. And Naruto obviously didn't have that much time to detour. All impossibilities are ruled out, then all that remains is the truth. At this time, Shaoli couldn't help swallowing his saliva, and his gaze towards Naruto began to heat up. Teacher Kai knows this better than Shaoli, so he doesn't say a word at the moment, not knowing what he is thinking. And just when the 3 were silent, Naruto finally came to the big tree deeper in the forest. Then I saw Naruto point directly at the back of the tree and spoke. Nah, Kai-sensei, I left my shuriken behind the tree, along with my name and date engraved. Quote, you can go over and check if I'm lying, Naruto said and let go aside, and at this time Kai-sensei also walked behind the big tree with a puzzled mood. Although the back of the tree was a little dark, Kai-sensei soon found Naruto's shuriken on the back of the tree. Underneath the shuriken is Naruto's crooked carved words and time. At this time, seeing that the time was 10 minutes ago, Teacher Kai's whole person was stunned in place. This, how the hell did Naruto do it? It's terrible. In a short period of time, it can actually surpass me and Shaoli. Quote, God unknowingly came farther than the end. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would never have believed it. Teacher Kai suddenly appeared in his mind at this time, that is, the 4th generation of the Fire Shadow Golden Flash Wave Feng Shui Gate. In his opinion, if anyone can do it, it must be this one. However, Shidame has been dead for a long time, and it is clear that this cannot happen. Unless Naruto learned the Flying Thunder God art of the 4 generations of Hokage and his talent for speed. However, what he didn't know was that Naruto was able to do it entirely because of domineering and the 9 tails. Earlier, when Shaoli and Kai-sensei were still running hard, Naruto had already invoked the chakra of the 9 tails. At the same time, when using the 9-tailed chakra, the armed and domineering are directly opened. With the blessings of these skills, Naruto's speed is almost the same as flying. That's why Naruto arrived before them. Haha, Mr. Kai, how is it, I'm not lying. Is it now possible to teach me the 8 gates of Danzo? At this time, just when Kai-sensei was a little stunned, Naruto spoke again. Hearing Naruto's voice, Kai-sensei finally came to his senses. Although he was a little depressed at the moment, he still nodded. Good. It's Naruto. Then now I will teach you the 8 doors of Danzo. Quote. Lee, you come with you. Follow suit. Quote. Teacher Kai was also ready to explain at this time. But at this moment, Naruto couldn't help but roll his eyes. I'll go. Teacher Kai, don't take you to play like this. Quote. Since you have already thought about teaching the 2 of us, why bother to have a competition? It's not just taking off your pants and farting. Naruto complained, but Kai-sensei suddenly burst into laughter. Ha ha ha, I didn't say I would teach you only one of them. Quote. Did you say it well? I don't believe you asked Shaoli if he heard it. Naruto retorted. Seeing this, Mr. Kai also tried to mess around, so he spoke again. Ahem, did I say that? I don't remember. Quote. Okay, don't waste your youth, now start learning the 8 gates of Danzo. I only teach once, you have to learn by heart. While speaking, Teacher Kai finally explained the principle of the 8 doors of Danjo seriously. In fact, for the 8 gates Danjo, Naruto already knew a lot in his previous life, but there was no chakra in that world. Now that he has chakra and listened to Mr. Kai's careful explanation, Naruto naturally learns quickly. In less than an hour, Naruto had mastered the essentials of opening the first door. In contrast, Shaoli is much slower, and he is not even a beginner. Seeing this scene, Teacher Kai couldn't help sighing. Phew, Teacher Kai, I think I can open the second door. Quote. Naruto had already tried to open the second door as he spoke. Seeing this, Kai-sensei also looked at him with some curiosity. Obviously Naruto's speed of cultivation was even faster than him. You must know that Naruto is not like Shaoli, he is not a ninja who specializes in physical arts. However, even so, Naruto learned this physical technique much faster than Shaoli, who specialized in physical arts. It was enough to impress Naruto. Okay, I'll be your opponent. Kai-sensei saw that Naruto had mastered the essentials of opening the second door, and was also ready to try Naruto's water. However, just as Kai-sensei was about to deal with Naruto, Naruto suddenly opened the third door. Seeing that Naruto actually opened the third door silently, Kai-sensei was even more stunned. But this is not the end, and soon Naruto's aura is still skyrocketing. Seeing this posture, even Teacher Kai couldn't help frowning. Enough Naruto, your body may not be able to eat it now, don't force other doors to open again. Quote. Kai-sensei was afraid that Naruto had a 3 long and 2 short, so he spoke out to dissuade him. For the 8 gates Danjo, Teacher Kai knows better than anyone. Although this kind of physical technique is powerful, it can also consume life, so he does not want Naruto to continue. However, at this time, Naruto did not listen to him, but continued to open the 4th and 5th doors. 5th gate. Duman open. Quote. With the opening of the 5th door, the aura on Naruto had skyrocketed to a rather terrifying point. Seeing that Naruto, who was practicing with him, had reached such a point, Shaoli was stunned. In contrast, Teacher Kai on the side looked solemn at the moment. In his opinion, Naruto forcibly opened the 5th door, which was a very dangerous thing. If it weren't for the inability to interrupt, I'm afraid Kai-sensei would have stopped Naruto a long time ago. At this time, he could only look at Naruto quietly, hoping that Naruto would not continue to drive further. However, just as Kai-sensei was staring at Naruto deadly, ready to come to the rescue at any time, Naruto burst into a loud gulp again. 6th gate. Jingmun, open it for me. Quote. Naruto's voice was not loud, but it was enough to penetrate the nearby flowers and trees. When Naruto's voice was heard, the surrounding animals all hid. Obviously, Naruto's breath was enough to make the people or animals around him tremble. Seeing this scene, even Shaoli began to envy. What a blood this is. Naruto-kun, that's awesome. Quote. I want to learn from you. No, I have to come on too. Quote. After Shaoli finished speaking, he also began to learn Naruto to continue cultivating. And just as Shaoli's voice fell, Naruto's eyes suddenly burst into light. At the same time, under the continuous burning of chakra, Naruto decisively kicked out. Rumble. Only listening to a loud noise, I saw Naruto, who opened the 6th door, kick the big tree in front of him into the air. Because the big tree withstood Naruto's power, it instantly flew into the depths of the forest like a cannonball. Oops, it won't run away. Kai-sensei saw that Naruto began to attack frantically around, and he was suddenly a little worried. But just when Kai-sensei thought Naruto would lose consciousness, Naruto suddenly jumped into the sky. Lao Su wants to kick over this firmament. Who else? Who else? Quote. Naruto kept bursting out, and the voice carried chakra far, far away. Even the village can hear it. And when they heard Naruto's voice, many people frowned. In the office of the 5th generation Hokage, Tsunade was originally resting. Soon, the sound from the forest also made her frown. So in order to find out what happened, Tsunade directly asked Kakashi to investigate. After receiving the order, Kakashi rushed over with Sakura and Sasuke as soon as possible. And when they came to the place where the voice came from, they were surprised to find that Naruto was already wrapped in chakra at this moment. Opposite Naruto, Standing at this moment was Kai-sensei, who had opened the sixth door. It turned out that just before, after Naruto finished drinking, he fell into a state of violent walking. In order to suppress Naruto, Kai-sensei had to open the sixth door of the 8th Dunjia. At this moment, two people who also opened the sixth door were wantonly confronting each other in the forest. Seeing this scene, even Kakashi couldn't help frowning. Beside Kakashi, Sasuke looked shocked at this time. Especially when he saw Naruto who opened the sixth door, his heart became even more irritable. What's going on with this 10,000-year crane tail? Can you actually compete with Teacher Kai? This strength, could it be that he has reached the level of superior patience? Quote. Sasuke's heart was really a little unbalanced, just like the Wanian honor student was suddenly surpassed by the poor student, which made him very uncomfortable. Compared to Sasuke, Sakura on the side was also surprised, but at the moment she was more worried about Naruto. Obviously, something is wrong with Naruto's current state, and if it continues, something is likely to go wrong. And just when Sakura looked worried, Kakashi finally made a decision. Sakura, Sasuke, you guys take Shaoli and leave here for the time being. Quote. Quick, Naruto and Kai handed it over to me. Quote. With Kakashi's order, Sakura and Sasuke finally took action. And after the two took Shaoli away below, Kakashi finally rushed towards the place where Naruto and Kai fought. As he rushed towards the two, Kakashi's chakra eyes suddenly opened. At this moment, Kakashi did not dare to drag it out at all. After all, it was two physical masters who had opened the sixth gate. If you are not careful, it is very likely that even he will be involved. You must know that Kai and Naruto, who opened the sixth door, are not ordinary ninjas. Now the strength of the two is probably close to the strength of the Hokage. Thinking that it might kill someone if he didn't get it right, Kakashi suddenly became decisive. Kaleidoscope Sharingan, open, quote. With another cold drink, Kakashi almost used his housekeeping skills. And when the kaleidoscope chakra eye was opened, Kakashi used hypnosis on Naruto and Kai-sensei for the first time. Although it is impossible to completely hypnotize Kai and Naruto in their current state, it can at least make the two of them move slower. Seeing that after being hypnotized by himself, Naruto and Kai slowed down, and Kakashi rushed towards the two. Rachel, Kakashi suddenly used his housekeeping skills as he rushed to Naruto. Then I saw a ratchet landing steadily and accurately on the back of Naruto's head. The blow almost knocked Naruto unconscious, and the chakra on his body finally began to disperse. Seeing this scene, Kakashi finally breathed a sigh of relief. Hey, Kai, you don't need me to help you anymore. Quote. Stop it. Kakashi had already caught the fallen Naruto at this time, and then yelled at Kai. After hearing Kakashi's shout, Kai finally slowly removed the chakra from his body and regained his senses. Ahem, this kid, so unconscious. I was almost made to open the seventh door by him. Teacher Kai, who had regained his senses, couldn't help but be a little afraid. At this time, he already had some doubts about whether he was right or wrong to teach Naruto the 8 doors of Dun Armor Arts. But now was clearly not the time to think about it, and soon Kakashi swept towards the village with the unconscious Naruto. Seeing this, Kai also hurriedly followed, and at the moment he was also more worried about Naruto's safety. And just as Kakashi and Kai took Naruto back to the village for treatment, on the other side, Sakura and Sasuke were in the forest and encountered a group of uninvited guests. The group of uninvited guests were now looking at Sasuke. Who are you? This is Konoha's territory. I don't want to die and leave quickly. Quote. Just as the group stared at Sasuke, Sasuke spoke coldly. However, after hearing Sasuke's words, the person on the other side couldn't help but laugh. Haha, Sasuke, have you forgotten the blood feud of your clan? What are you doing now? How do you beat Uchiha Itachi like you? Do you still want revenge? Quote. As soon as the group of people spoke, they said the eternal pain in Sasuke's heart, which immediately made Sasuke tremble a little. Look at their foreheads. It's Oto Shinobu, the people of the big snake pill. Quote. Just as Sasuke was disturbed by a few words from the other party, Sakura recognized the mark on the forehead of the men. Sakura remembers this sign very well. Previously, when Orochimaru killed Sandaime in the village, Oto Shinobu had appeared. Now seeing these Oto ninja people again, Sakura felt an inexplicable fear in her heart. Although Xiao Li on the side was full of blood, he did not dare to mess around in the face of such an enemy. What's more, there were 4 people on the other side, and there were only 3 of them, among which Sasuke was still in an absent-minded state. Sakura, we shouldn't be their match. Now what? Quote. Xiao Li also saw that the current situation was not favorable to them at all, so he asked Sakura. Obviously, the sudden appearance of these people is definitely not for a walk. Once you do it, no one knows what the outcome will be. And just when Sakura and Xiao Li were both in worry, Sasuke finally clenched his fists and moved without saying a word. Quote exclamation mark. Don't mention that name to me. Quote. You fools. Give me death. Quote. Sasuke had already taken over his sanity with hatred at this time, and the next moment he rushed directly to the 4 of Otonobe. Seeing Sasuke's sudden move, Sakura and Xiao Li were also a little helpless. However, just as the 2 were about to help Sasuke, Sasuke drank coldly at them. Don't get in the way here. Go back to the village and call people. I'll block them. Quote. Although Sasuke was carried away by hatred, he finally retained a trace of sobriety. He knew very well that Sakura and Xiao Li could not be put in danger as well. So he planned to send the 2 away, and then he forced the 4 of them to endure. However, just as Sasuke asked Sakura and Li to leave, Sakura shook her head. Nope, Sasuke-kun, it's too dangerous for you to stay alone. Quote. We are companions. I'm going to stay and help you. Quote. Sakura said as she was ready to fight, but without waiting for her to take a few steps, Sasuke drank coldly again. Help me, just your little strength. Quote. If you stay, it will only hold me back. I might have been able to play better without you. Hurry up and leave. Quote. As Sasuke spoke, a shuriken shot directly at Sakura's feet, forcing Sakura back. Seeing this, although Sakura was very reluctant, she finally chose to stop. Xiao Li on the side originally planned to make a move, but when he saw this scene, he had to leave with Sakura. And just as the 2 left, the 4 of them didn't seem to put them in their eyes at all. At this moment, they did not intend to pursue at all, but locked their eyes on Sasuke's body. This time, they came to Sasuke on the orders of Orochimaru. So apart from Sasuke, they didn't want to bother with the others at all. Originally, they were going to enter the village to look for Sasuke, but who thought that they would meet here, but it was exactly what they wanted. Gee, are the people of the Uchiha clan so hot? At this time, when the 4 of Odo Shinobu were staring at Sasuke, Sasuke directly used a fireball to spray at the other party. After the violent explosion, I thought I could hit the other party by surprise. But it was quickly blocked by the 4 people of Otonobe. I have to say that the strength of the 4 people of Odobu is more than a little stronger than Sasuke during this period. So Sasuke's attack was simply pediatric for them. Alas, I really don't know what Lord Orochimaru likes about this guy. Is it just because this guy has a chakra eye and is from the Uchiha clan? Cut, I don't think this guy is very good. After easily blocking Sasuke's attack, Orochimaru, the naughty of the 4 Otobi, couldn't help but speak. From his tone, Sasuke heard a full of disdain. This also made Sasuke cranky again. Originally he was worried about Naruto surpassing himself. Now it makes him even more angry. So soon Sasuke attacked again, this time he even opened the Sharingan to fight. It's just that no matter how much Sasuke struggles, in front of the 4 people of Otonobu, it doesn't seem to work. Soon Sasuke seemed to be being toyed with and applauded, until his chakra was consumed by more than half, and the 4 finally forced him back to a large tree. Hey, you're too weak, aren't you? Orochimaru-sama is not mistaken. Let's take this one waste back. Quote. What a waste of time. Onidomaru taunted Sasuke again, but just as Onimaru's voice fell, the spell mark on Sasuke's body lit up. The next moment, I saw that Sasuke seemed to want to continue attacking with the spell seal, but without waiting for him to act, he was pressed to the ground again. Gee, do you think you're the only one with the spell mark? It was Zuo Jin, the strongest of the 4 people who spoke, and this guy was almost a pervert. At this moment, a spell mark also appeared on his body, which suddenly made Sasuke a little overwhelmed. Ha, stupid guys, have you forgotten what you have to do? Quote. Staying in this kind of place will only prevent you from becoming stronger. Want to pursue power? Then leave everything here. Quote. Like us, follow Lord Orochimaru, or you will always be a trash. Zuo-jin kicked Sasuke's body after speaking. The next moment, just when Sasuke wanted to refute something, suddenly the four of Otobi disappeared in an instant. Obviously, the appearance of the four people of Otobi was to arouse the hatred in Sasuke's body and force him to make a choice. And Sasuke finally understood the gap in strength at this moment, and every time he thought of Uchiha Itachi's gaze, he was extremely angry. Thinking of Naruto's recent progress, Sasuke was even more desperate to become stronger. Nope, can't stay in the village anymore. Quote, I have to be stronger. Staying here is just a waste of time. Quote. Sasuke secretly made up his mind in his heart, and then forced his body to disappear into the darkness. On the other hand, Sakura and Lee wanted to go back to the village to find someone to rescue Sasuke. But before they could return to the village, Sasuke had already caught up from behind. Sakura looked happy when she saw Sasuke, but Sasuke became even more indifferent than before. Until he returned to the village, he did not say a word. It was getting late at this time, and Naruto had already woken up under Tsunade's treatment. Lying on the hospital bed, Naruto was counted down by Tsunade. Naruto, if you dare to mess around again, the old lady will break your leg. Quote. Tsunade said a cruel word and disappeared at the end of the corridor. When Tsunade left, Naruto laughed sarcastically. Especially when he thought that he had mastered the strongest physical technique, the 8 gates of Dunja. Naruto couldn't keep his mouth shut with joy. However, just as Naruto was lying on the hospital bed and secretly happy, Sasuke's figure suddenly flashed outside the window. Seeing Sasuke, Naruto couldn't help but smack his lips. In Naruto's impression, the next plot should be that the 2 pillars leave Konoha. However, because of his own crossing, the world here has deviated from the original plot. Naruto wasn't quite sure what would happen next. But no matter what, Naruto decided not to overchange the original plot. After all, if the plot changes too much, then it will be difficult for you to control the overall situation. Although there is a systematic blessing, there is no need to worry that you will have trouble that cannot be solved. But before you grow up, it's better to be cautious. Although with the help of the system, Naruto's growth will be much faster, but he can't stand the perverts in this world. For example, the Shao organization that has a keen eye on the tailed beasts in his body, such as Tuanzang and the Great Snake Pill and so on. The strength of these guys is not something that he can compete with now, so Naruto didn't want to have any accidents before he grew up. So after glancing at Sasuke's figure outside the window, Naruto decisively lay down and got ready to sleep. And just as Naruto was resting, Sakura had already arrived in front of Kakashi. You guys met Oto Shinobu guys outside the village. They didn't do anything to you, did they? Kakashi couldn't help but frown when he heard Sakura say what happened before. And at this moment, Sakura also told the truth about everything that happened before. Kakashi became even more puzzled when he learned that Sasuke had left someone to face Otonobu and retreat with his whole body. So in order to find out what was going on, Kakashi prepared to go to Sasuke to find out. As for Sakura, after reporting the situation to Kakashi, she went to Naruto's ward. Standing at the door of the ward, Sakura suddenly hesitated, and for a moment she didn't know whether to enter or not. But just as Sakura hesitated, Naruto's voice came from the room. Is it Sakura? Come on in. Quote. Naruto had already discovered Sakura using his domineering senses, so he broke his mouth. Seeing that Naruto had already discovered it, Sakura finally walked in. Naruto-kun, are you okay? Sakura looked at Naruto and couldn't help but remember how he looked when he opened the 6th door before. Compared to the current Naruto, the previous Naruto was like another person. Haha, of course I'm fine. It's already good. Quote. If it weren't for that old woman Tsunade not letting me leave, I would have gone back a long time ago. Naruto sat up directly as he spoke. However, just as Naruto was about to show off his strong physique, Sakura's eyes were full of tears. Despite her efforts to restrain herself, a few tears still slipped down her cheeks. Looking at Sakura with rain, Naruto couldn't help but be dumbfounded. Hey, Sakura, don't cry. It's for the second pillar again, right? That guy is that dead virtuous. Quote. Don't care, don't worry, with me here, I will definitely not let him have trouble. Naruto knew that Sakura must have come to ask him to help persuade Sasuke. And just as Naruto's voice fell, Sakura finally nodded heavily. Naruto-kun, thank you. Sasuke, he's our companion, I don't want him to go astray. Sakura finally spoke her mind, and after hearing her words, Naruto nodded slightly. Don't worry, with me, it won't be. Urzuzi dares to go astray, I will break his leg. Naruto patted his chest confidently. At this moment he was even more confident than Naruto in the original book. And all because of the many conveniences that the system brings. At this moment, while Naruto and Sakura were talking, suddenly a system prompt sounded in his head. Ding! Detected that the host is facing a choice. Quote. Option 1. Achieve the bond of partners. Mission reward. Copy ninjutsu. Option 2. Ignore the bonds of partners. Mission reward. Hang up in place. Note. This mission is the main quest. Listening to the prompt in his head, Naruto was suddenly stunned in place. This time, a note was actually given in the system, which also made Naruto have to pay attention. A partner's bond. Isn't this the essence of Hokage? Quote. If there is no bond between partners, the Hokage would not exist. Is it that everyone knows how to choose well or not, let alone the choice I have? Option 2. Not to let me die. Quote. G barrier system. I pick 1. Quote. Naruto cursed the system first, then decisively chose 1. And after Naruto made his choice, the information of copying ninjutsu also drilled into his mind. Entering along with the copy ninjutsu, there is also the reward demon Windfoot from the previous mission. When receiving the huge information of the two rewards at once, Naruto couldn't help but shake his body. Phew, isn't copying ninjutsu a fight with Kakashi sensei's Sharingan? Quote. I don't know how far it can be copied. Naruto really wanted to find someone to try at this time, but unfortunately there was only Sakura in front of him. And at this time, Sakura ninjutsu is not practiced, and it is completely inappropriate as an object of copying. As for the other reward demon Windfoot, this one is powerful. If memory serves, this is Sanji's mastery, and it is also a kind of physical skill. Although now Naruto has learned the awesome body art of the 8 gates of Dunja, he can no longer look at the demonic wind feet. But you can't see everyone open the 8 doors, then Naruto's little life is estimated to be gone. With this demon Windfoot, it can be used against ordinary enemies. Thinking of this, the corners of Naruto's mouth couldn't help but show a curve. Naruto-kun, what are you thinking? Quote, why do you look so much like Jiraiya-sensei? Did you say? Sakura knew Jiraiya's temperament, and Naruto had been fooling around with him for a while. At this time, she couldn't help but associate Naruto and Jiraiya's lewdness. And just when Sakura looked at Naruto with a look of disgust, Naruto suddenly became embarrassed. Don't get me wrong, I didn't think of anything else. Quote, I just feel hungry and want to eat Ichiraku ramen. After saying that, Naruto jumped directly off the bed, and then jumped towards the window. Sakura, I'll treat you to ramen. After Naruto greeted, he jumped first. Seeing this, Sakura was a little helpless, but still followed. She didn't want Naruto to be outside so late, she had to urge Naruto to come back early after eating. And just as Naruto and Sakura rushed to the Ichiraku ramen shop, Sasuke had already left the house. When Kakashi arrived at Sasuke's house, it was empty. Apparently Sasuke had been gone for a while, and it was probably too late to chase after it now. Thinking of this, Kakashi had to report the matter to Tsunade, and let her, the Hokage, decide. On the outskirts of Konoha village, Sasuke had already joined the 4 of Otonobu. After the 4 of Oto shinobi gave Sasuke some kind of medicine, they sealed him in a large wooden barrel. Everything seemed to go smoothly and there were no obstacles. Originally, the 4 people of Otobu thought that they could easily bring Sasuke back and become a container for the big snake pill. However, in Konoha village, as Tsunade learned about this incident, she immediately found Shikamaru, who had just been promoted to Nakashino. Originally, Kakashi was supposed to be the best person to perform this task. But after reporting the matter, he went out to find other tasks. So when there are no other ninjas available in the village, it can only be done by Shikamaru. After Shikamaru took the task, he immediately contacted Ninji and Dingji, as well as Ya. After a few people gathered, they prepared to go to Naruto and then set off to retrieve Sasuke. However, just when Shikamaru and several people rushed to Naruto's place, Naruto disappeared, which also made Shikamaru anxious. On the other side, Naruto had just finished eating ramen not long ago. Originally, he planned to talk to Uncle Ichiraku at the ramen shop and ask him if he was hiding the boss. But in the end, it was dragged out by Sakura and brought back. However, just as Naruto and Sakura were about to go back, they met Root's people on the way. Naruto was just like that, he was taken away from Sakura by the people of the Roots. The Root organization is actually very secret in the Hokage, and it has always been controlled by Danzo. At this time, shortly after Naruto was taken away by Root's people, they also came to Root's secret headquarters. As soon as he entered the location of the Root organization, Naruto became a little unnatural. Although I had been here once, I didn't have much impression of Naruto here. Apparently, there has always been an old shadow shelter here who is eyeing himself. Last time, if Naruto hadn't revealed that he had awakened the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan, I am afraid it would have been really difficult to leave. This time, Tuanzang suddenly asked people to call themselves here, who knows what kind of trick Tuanzang that old guy wants to play. So as soon as he entered this place, Naruto became alert. Naruto, you're finally here, quote, I've been waiting for you for a long time. In the secret room of the Root organization, after turning around, Naruto finally saw Danzo. However, just when Naruto looked up at Danzo, he saw a hint of excitement on Danzo's face. This excitement really made Naruto a little uncomfortable. Wait for me. Why are you waiting for me so late? Quote, I don't put people to sleep, so if you don't sleep so late and feed the mosquitoes here. Naruto said as he took a place to sit down. However, for Naruto's words, Danzo couldn't help but snort coldly after hearing it. HMPH. Of course, I came to you to fulfill my dream. Quote, here, I'll show you something. Tuanzang had already walked towards a dark cabinet as he spoke. And just as Danzo was about to open the cabinet to show Naruto the contents inside, Naruto spoke again. Show me something. Let me guess. Quote, isn't it supposed to be Sharingan? Naruto knew very well that the old guy Danzo had dug out the Sharingan eyes of the Uchiha clan. This is a big secret to anyone. At this time, it was suddenly broken by Naruto, and even Danzo couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Know that if this is known by others, you don't know what will happen. So at this time, Danzo also looked at Naruto suspiciously. I don't know why, he always felt as if Naruto had seen through him, and this feeling made him very uncomfortable. As a leading figure of Root, it has always been that others have no secrets in front of him. However, now it is the opposite, which makes Tuanzang very angry in his heart. How do you know? Tuanzang asked coldly. Oh, I guess. Haha, I won't be right. Then if you called me, wouldn't it also have something to do with Sharingan? Naruto said more boldly, not that Naruto didn't want to die, but Naruto now had a whole card. The 8-gate Dunja alone was enough for him to act tough in front of Danzo, not to mention Naruto had other tricks. For example, the copy ninjutsu that I just learned before, such as domineering, such as demon wind feet. No matter what these are taken out, they are enough to deal with the current Tuanzang. Besides, even if you can't fight, you are still sure to escape. So Naruto at this time would not be afraid of Danzo at all. If you guessed correctly, then I can't let you leave. Quote, Tuanzang directly opened the pitch-black cabinet as he spoke. Looking through the faint light, Naruto quickly noticed that the cabinet was actually full of glass bottles. There is some kind of liquid in the glass bottle, and in the middle of the liquid, the chakra eyes are floating. Apparently Naruto guessed correctly. At this time, Danzo had not yet transplanted the Sharingan into his arm. Looking at so many Sharingan, Naruto couldn't help but frown. How? Scared? Quote, ha ha ha, I just thought that maybe the Vortex bloodline in your body can help me. The Vortex clan has super recovery ability, plus the cells of the Thousand Hands clan. That's enough to make me stronger. When Tuanzang said this, he couldn't help but show a hideous expression, looking extremely terrifying. If it had been not long ago, Naruto might still have been afraid of him. However, now Naruto did not have any fear. Looking at Danzo's hideous face, the corners of Naruto's mouth rose slightly. I knew you were an old thing and didn't have a good heart. You're too anxious, but if you want to get the bloodline of the Vortex clan from my body, I'm afraid you think too much. Naruto was still very calm, and it seemed that he didn't take Danzo's words seriously at all, which completely angered Danzo. HMPH, huh. Then I'll let you see my strength. Quote, Danzo was already preparing to strike at Naruto as he spoke. And at this moment, Naruto also remembered the copy ninjutsu he had obtained earlier. Obviously, this old guy of Tuanzang can be used to practice his hands. So Naruto soon used copy ninjutsu when Danzo was doing it. Wind escape, vacuum wave. Quote, just as Naruto was about to copy Danzo's ninjutsu, Danzo decisively opened his mouth. Then I saw an incomparably powerful aura instantly shoot out of his mouth and go straight to Naruto. When he saw that powerful aura slashing at him like a sharp ice blade, Naruto had to dodge hard. In the process of dodging, the copy ninjutsu was finally launched. Soon, Danzo's previous method of using the wind escape was also copied by Naruto. So Naruto began to draw the gourd as it was, copying Danzo's ninjutsu seal. Isn't it just the wind? I will too. Quote, Naruto copied Danzo's ninjutsu almost instantly, and then decisively used it towards Danzo. At this time, I saw that the two breaths collided in midair almost instantly, making a violent noise so that the ground began to shake. Seeing this scene, Tuanzang was suddenly a little dumbfounded. You must know that the ninjutsu of the wind escape vacuum wave is his original, and it has never been given to anyone. Now seeing that Naruto would actually use the same ninjutsu made him frown suddenly. Huh, how can you also be the old man's wind? Quote, this can't be. Danzo looked at Naruto with wide eyes, as if he wanted Naruto to give him an explanation. Only at this time, Naruto couldn't help laughing. Haha, Tuanzang old shade, how is it, do you still think I am easy to deal with now? Quote, I really thought I didn't know what you were thinking. I have long seen through your thoughts. So don't pretend with me. Quote, now I'm going to defeat you with your most proud ninjutsu. As Naruto spoke, he began to use replica ninjutsu again, aiming at Danzo not far away. And Danzo did not believe in evil at this time, feeling that Naruto was really bluffing him. So soon he made a seal again, using his best ninjutsu. I don't believe it, you can use the same ninjutsu this time. Danzo felt that the wind escape vacuum wave might be because it was a little low end, so it would be penetrated by Naruto. So at this moment, he began to use his housekeeping skills. Wind escape, vacuum big jade. Quote, with Tuanzang's cold drink, I saw a huge high-pressure wind ball suddenly appear in his mouth. As soon as the wind ball appeared, even the surrounding items began to tremble. From time to time, several items were shattered by that high-pressure wind ball, which was enough to see how powerful it contained. Phew, this ninjutsu is a bit like a spiral pill. Okay, keep copying. At this time, Naruto once again unleashed the ninjutsu of the wind escape vacuum Daitama according to the method of the formation of the group. In an instant, two huge high-pressure wind balls suddenly appeared in the entire room, almost tearing the room apart. Not far away, when Danzo watched Naruto actually use his housekeeping trick again, his face became even more solemn. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Quote, Naruto. Danzo was obviously a little confused, and after a loud roar, he spat the wind ball towards Naruto. Naruto on the opposite side also did the same at this time, and for a while two huge high-pressure wind balls collided again. However, this time it was much stronger than the previous explosion, so much so that the entire room was blown off the roof in an instant. After the explosion, Naruto still stood in place, but Danzo knelt on the ground, holding on and did not fall. Ahem, how so? Quote, why is that? Danzo raised his head with difficulty and looked at Naruto not far away. At this moment, he had 10,000 doubts in his heart, but he could not find any answers. And just as Danzo looked at Naruto, Naruto couldn't help but smile. Hehe, how do you feel about being defeated by your own ninjutsu, Danzo? Do you feel very hot? Tell you secretly, I just improved your ninjutsu. That's why you lost so badly. When Naruto said this, the Danzo on the opposite side finally showed a look of horror. Apparently he didn't expect that Naruto could actually see through his ninjutsu in a short time. It has even been improved when using ninjutsu, and I am afraid that such an ability may not even be available to the second generation Hokage. As we all know, the second generation Hokage is the best at creating ninjutsu. However, Rao is a second generation Hokage, and he also needs to study a lot of time to create new ninjutsu. But Naruto can improve ninjutsu in a short time, and this talent can be described in two terrible words. Could it be said that after this kid inherited the bloodline of the Vortex clan, he actually awakened such a high talent? Danzo stared at Naruto deadly, guessing in his heart. However, what he didn't know was that Naruto's improvement was only mixed with domineering energy in the Wind Escape Vacuum Great Jade. In addition, Naruto also used the chakra of the Nine Tails. If it weren't for the blessing of the Nine-Tailed chakra, Naruto would never have been able to win Danzo on his own. You must know that even if ninjutsu is the same, because everyone's chakra is different, the power used is different. Danzo, this old guy, is an old ninja who has lived for so many years. It is not too much to say that his strength is close to the shadow level. And Naruto's true strength is far inferior to him, so he can only complete this blow with the help of the chakra of the Nine Tails. Alas, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect it. Quote. My Tuanzang actually lost in the hands of a brat. Naruto, you really exceeded my expectations. Maybe I was wrong in the first place. Quote. The regiment commander was silent for a long time, and finally shook his head. Then I saw him slowly close his eyes, looking like he was waiting for death. Come on, if you want to kill me, do it. The moment Tuanzang closed his eyes, he seemed exceptionally calm. However, just when Danzo thought that Naruto would kill him, Naruto shook his head. No, your end is not here. I won't kill you. But if you dare to have any ideas about me in the future, I promise to abolish you first. Naruto said and turned and left Roots headquarters. Looking at Naruto's back as he left, Danzo's heart was very complicated. And why is Naruto not like this? Danzo, this guy indirectly killed his parents, this hatred Naruto remembers deeply. However, Naruto will not kill Danzo because of this, which may make the whole plot go off dramatically. Once the deviation is too large, then everything is out of control. So for his own safety, Naruto planned to let him go first. Anyway, he doesn't pose much threat to himself. Thanks to this replica ninjutsu today. Hehe, this ninjutsu is really peerless. It seems that we will have to explore more in the future and figure out the principle of this ninjutsu. Naruto left Roots headquarters enough and muttered to himself on the way. And just as Naruto was walking down the street and preparing to go back, a figure finally fell in the air. Naruto, I've been looking for you for a long time. You're actually taking a leisurely walk here. Come with me to the village entrance to assemble. We're going to bring Sasuke back. Quote. When the figure landed in front of Naruto, he couldn't help but speak. Only then did Naruto see that the figure turned out to be Shikamaru. Hearing Shikamaru's words, Naruto snorted and followed behind him. Soon at the entrance of the village, finally all the helpers selected by Shikamaru gathered. Shikamaru then began to deploy tactics. Just as Shikamaru was about to deploy tactics and set off, Sakura's figure appeared behind Naruto. Naruto-kun, bring Sasuke back. Be careful yourself. Quote. Looking at Sakura's somewhat red eyes, Naruto knew what was going on in her mind. Although he wasn't very impressed with Sakura, Naruto nodded. Don't worry, if I can, I will definitely bring the second pillar back. Naruto's answer at this time was somewhat ambiguous and did not directly agree because he knew the subsequent plot too well. It was impossible for Sasuke to come back with him this time, and although Naruto now had the strength to bring him back, he didn't want to do it. Doing so would change the plot and make the situation uncontrollable, and secondly, it would be a kind of protection for Sasuke. Naruto still knows Sasuke's mind very well, and it is difficult for a guy like this to be better than him. If you forcibly bring him back and watch yourself get stronger every day, then sooner or later he will go crazy. Instead of letting him stay in the village and become a madman out of jealousy, let him become stronger according to his own ideas. This will not only continue to promote the development of the plot, but also save the village a lot of trouble. Thinking of this, Naruto finally turned around and ran towards the outside of the village with Shikamaru and the others. Soon after leaving the village, the group of 5 began to increase their speed. Because Tooth and Akamaru were there, the tracking went smoothly. Along the way, they soon came to the depths of the forest. It should be not far ahead. Ya looked at Akamaru and judged Sasuke's position from Akamaru's performance. After hearing Ya's words, Shikamaru reminded him of his previous tactics again. However, just as Shikamaru and the others were about to continue the pursuit, Naruto suddenly stopped. "Naruto, what are you doing? Keep up." Quote. Seeing Naruto who suddenly stopped and didn't move, Denji couldn't help but shout. But just then, Naruto raised his hand at them. "You guys go first, I'll come right away." After Naruto finished speaking, he ran directly towards the small river next to him. Seeing this, Denji wanted to catch up and call Naruto back, but was quickly stopped by Shikamaru. "Denji, leave Naruto alone. I can sense that there should be someone else over there." Quote. Naruto should have sensed something was wrong before he passed. Our goal now is Sasuke. As for Naruto's side, he can only rely on himself. Shikamaru glanced in the direction Naruto had disappeared, then decisively swept forward. On the other side, Naruto soon came to the small river. Although it was empty, Naruto was very wary. When he opened his domineering appearance earlier, Naruto looked for the 2 figures who had already found the river. This is also the reason why Naruto and Shikamaru are separated. Standing by the river, Naruto quietly looked at the surface of the water, and finally spoke for a long time. "So, aren't you tired of hiding in the water? Oh, I forgot you guy can turn into a shark. I want to eat shark fin, can you give it to me?" Naruto spoke casually, but just then the water in the creek finally surged. As the river surged, soon a 2-person tall column of water was formed on the surface of the water. Above the water column, a shark-like figure slowly appeared. Gee, this little devil can actually perceive us accurately. Could it be that this little devil also senses ninjutsu? Above the water column, as soon as the figure appeared, he opened his mouth at Naruto. And when he finished speaking, on the big tree on the other side of the river, another figure finally appeared. Watching another figure appear, Naruto couldn't help but become alert. The reason why Naruto raised his guard was because the guy on the other side was not easy to deal with. Uchiha Itachi, dried persimmon ghost mackerel. Quote. "The Shao organization sent you to arrest me, right? But unfortunately, I'm afraid you can't do it today." Naruto spread his hands helplessly. If it were someone else, after seeing the 2 members of the Shao organization, most of them would not be so calm. Naruto's performance at this time also surprised Uchiha Itachi. You must know that Uchiha Itachi is the best ninja that the Uchiha clan has ever had. His insight was very strong, and looking at Naruto's calm expression at this time, he was also a little puzzled. "I met Naruto again, is it really a coincidence, you actually dare to come alone? Aren't you afraid? This is not Konoha village." Quote. "No one will come to your aid. So if you want to catch you, it doesn't take much effort at all." Quote. Uchiha was already ready to let the Oni do it as he spoke. In his opinion, a little devil like Naruto is not worth mentioning at all. Although he did feel that Naruto was a little special when he fought before, he still couldn't change Itachi's mind. And just when the Oni mackerel slowly walked to the shore at this moment, and could strike at Naruto at any time, Naruto laughed. "Oh, weasel, I bet you won't catch me." Quote. "Because if you catch me, no one will be able to save your brother." Naruto knows Uchiha Itachi very well, and the plot of his past life is not for nothing. For Itachi, Sasuke's younger brother is actually his weakness. In order to protect this younger brother, he can even bear the infamy for so long, which is enough to see his love for his younger brother. It was this kind of pampering that became Naruto's biggest bargaining chip. If he didn't know Itachi very well, Naruto couldn't have sent it to the door himself. Although Naruto is also very strong now, it is not so simple to face 2 tricky guys in the Shao organization at the same time. Even if Kakashi was present, it would be difficult to take advantage of anything. At this time, when Naruto mentioned Itachi's younger brother Sasuke, although Itachi's expression did not change, his pupils shrank significantly. I am afraid that others will not be able to detect this, but it is not difficult for Naruto, who has a domineering appearance. At this time, after catching the Itachi's movement, Naruto was more confident. Yo, little ghost, what are you talking about? Quote, you don't need to do anything to catch you. I'll just come. Quote, now, obediently follow me back. Just as Naruto was looking at Itachi, finally Oni Sakura spoke again. At the same time, he had already begun to walk towards Naruto, and he could make a move at any time. But just when Oni wanted to make a move on Naruto, Itachi stopped him. Naruto, you're trying to stall for time, aren't you? Quote, there's no way to influence me with that waste from Sasuke. Itachi was still pretending to be calm, but just as his words fell, Naruto laughed. Haha, is it? Okay then, I'll just grab it. Quote, but don't regret it when Sasuke becomes a container for the Great Snake Pill. Naruto spoke out about Sasuke's situation at this time. And when he heard the name of the Big Snake Pill, Itachi finally frowned. Orochimaru was Itachi's former teammate, and he knew that guy too well. Itachi knew very well that if Sasuke fell into his hands, it would definitely not end well. Thinking of the perversion of that guy from Orochimaru, and his covetousness for the Sharingan, Itachi couldn't help but start worrying. However, worried and worried, his surface was still very calm, and even the ghost mackerel could not see what he was thinking. For a long time, just when the ghost mackerel was a little impatient and ready to make a move, the weasel's pupils suddenly changed. Feeling the weasel's chakra eyes open in an instant, the ghost mackerel couldn't help but be vigilant. As a teammate of Itachi, Oni knows him well. Under normal circumstances, this guy will not have any reaction or mood swings. If the ferret suddenly becomes abnormal, then something terrible is bound to happen. Just when Oni felt Itachi's breath as he was about to personally deal with Naruto, Itachi finally moved. The next moment, I saw Itachi move in front of Naruto almost instantly. Then I saw one of Itachi's hands directly squeezed Naruto's shoulder. Just grabbed like that. Quote, it's boring. I also want to test how strong the tailed beast in this kid's body is. Quote, the Oni was a little disappointed at this time, obviously he was ready to fight the Nine Tails. However, just when Oni thought that Itachi had taken Naruto and did not need to make a move himself, Itachi made an amazing move. Standing in front of Naruto, Itachi bowed his head slightly, and then decisively pushed Naruto out. Naruto also jumped onto a large tree not far away with his thrust at this time. Standing at the top of the tree, Naruto took a meaningful look at Itachi and decisively chose to leave. In verification, the ghost mackerel also immediately became anxious. At this time, I saw that the Oni mackerel directly wanted to rush up and capture Naruto again. However, as soon as he left, the ferret had already stopped in front of him. Hey, weasel, what are you doing? Quote, shouldn't you want to leave the organization like the Big Snake Pill? In that case, I can only kill you here. The ghost mackerel suddenly became serious, and in his opinion, not obeying the orders of the leader of the Shao organization was a betrayal. Although he has teamed up with Itachi during this time, he is very satisfied with this companion. But when forced to, he will also solve the weasel himself. I was just trying to get a lesson from your chakra eye. Weasel. Quote. The ghost mackerel stuck out its tongue and licked it, looking a little excited. At the same time, I don't know when, the mackerel muscles have also been held in his hands. The mackerel is now excitedly opening his mouth, looking like he wants to swallow the weasel chakra. At this time, facing the ghost mackerel, the weasel's chakra eye was already ready. However, he did not choose to use illusion and Amaterasu on the Oni mackerel. Ghost mackerel, I need my stupid brother to help me finish my kaleidoscopic chakra eye. Quote. So, now he can't fall into the hands of the Great Snake Pill. Do you understand? Itachi looked at Oni and said why he let Naruto go. As Sasuke's companion, now Itachi can only put all his hopes on Naruto. And after listening to the weasel's explanation, although the ghost mackerel was still a little unhappy, he still put down the mackerel muscle in his hand. You guy, doing things is always confusing. Quote, forget it, you can explain it to the leader yourself then. In other words, did you want to kill me with the look in your eyes just now? I'm really looking forward to fighting you. The ghost mackerel had now changed back to human form, and by the time he had the robe embroidered with red clouds on his ship, the weasel had disappeared in place. You can't beat me. If you make a move just now, you will surely die. Quote. I'm not kidding. Just as the weasel disappeared, his voice also reached the ears of the ghost mackerel. The ghost mackerel couldn't help but sneer after hearing this. On the other side, Naruto immediately turned on the domineering after leaving in front of Itachi and Oni mackerel. With the help of seeing the domineering spirit, he soon found the location of Shikamaru's people. The reason why he wanted to leave Shikamaru and them earlier was actually because he was afraid that when he fought against Odonobu, it would come out and stir up the situation. In that case, things would be difficult, so Naruto had to meet Itachi. Apparently this time the meeting was still somewhat fruitful, and just when Itachi let Naruto go, he had entrusted Sasuke to Naruto. Naruto already remembered the words that Itachi whispered in his ear. My stupid brother is over to you. Thinking of this, Naruto couldn't help but shake his head. These two brothers are really strange. Deep in the forest, just as Naruto arrived, Shikamaru and several people had already been injured by the four of Odonobu. Although Shikamaru has a superb IQ and has no strategy, he is still easily crushed in the face of absolute strength. At this moment, Shikamaru's chakra has almost consumed, and if it continues, it is very likely to be killed. However, just when Shikamaru and they had been cornered, Naruto finally arrived at the scene. However, despite Naruto's appearance, Shikamaru still did not have any joy. In their opinion, it was actually the same whether Naruto came or not. After all, Naruto is a famous crane tail, and although there have been many rumors in the village about Naruto getting stronger recently, it still hasn't changed the three of them's impression of Naruto. Watching Naruto fall in front of him at this time, Shikamaru patted Naruto on the shoulder. Naruto, hurry back to the village and call for help. We'll buy you time. Shikamaru was already very weak at this time, and he almost lost his strength to speak. But Rao is so, he still does not plan to give up. And just as Shikamaru was talking to Naruto, the four people on the opposite side suddenly laughed. Gee, another one to die. Haha, you must kill today. In the crowd of four people, the other head behind the left close to him spoke at this time. This left Naruto knew very well that the head behind him was his various right ears. The two share a body, and their strength is also very strong. In the original work, Shikamaru did not suffer a loss, you can imagine how strong the strength is. However, even if the other party is strong, Naruto still does not put it in his eyes. After all, the current Naruto is not the Naruto in the original work, there is a systematic blessing, and the four of Otobi are a younger brother. Kill it, can you die without bragging? Quote, just the four of you, it's not enough to see it. In this case, you guys put Sasuke down, shall I leave you a whole corpse? Naruto looked at the four of Otobi very seriously and spoke. It's just that Naruto's words almost instantly angered the four of Odonobu. So soon Zuo Jinjian directly chose to strike and went straight to Naruto. Seeing this, Shikamaru just wanted to use the shadow mimicry technique to drag him down, but because the injury was too serious, he quickly collapsed to the ground. Seeing this, Naruto decisively summoned the shadow doppelganger and helped him aside. Don't worry, leave it to me next. As Naruto spoke, he rushed directly to the attack from the left. Chapter 31. Seeing Naruto rush forward alone, Shikamaru couldn't help but get a little annoyed. Previously, they had seen with their own eyes how strong the four of Atano were, and in his opinion, Naruto was definitely not their opponent. Rushing up in this way is just giving heads to the other party. At that time, not only will Naruto's life be lost, but he may even waste the opportunity to call for help. Thinking of this, Shikamaru couldn't help but smash one hand on the ground. Naruto, come back soon. Quote, just when Shikamaru looked depressed, Ningji, who had been silent, also spoke. He hasn't been able to face Naruto since the last time he lost to Naruto. Now seeing Naruto in danger, he was still ready to remind Naruto. It's just that this time it is clearly too late. At this time, I saw that Naruto had already met Zuo-jin, and at the moment of encounter, Zuo-jin's ninjutsu had also been completed. The next moment, I saw Zuo-jin attacking madly. For a while, where he and Naruto were, it was surrounded by smoke almost instantly. Unable to see what was going on inside at this time, Shikamaru couldn't help sighing. Alas, this reckless fellow. What a nerve-wracking quote. Shikamaru couldn't help but complain, but just when Shikamaru thought that Naruto was fierce, suddenly a loud noise came. The next moment, when Shikamaru and their gaze looked again at Naruto in the position to the left, a large pit had already appeared there. As for Naruto, he had disappeared at the moment, leaving only a somewhat breathless left. Seeing that Zuo-jin was almost unscathed, Shikamaru and Ninji couldn't help but show solemn expressions. What about Naruto? It can't be dead, right? Quote. The hell knows what the hell this guy is up to. Shikamaru and Ninji were a little speechless, but at this moment, finally a figure in the sky struck. The next moment, I saw Zuo-jin, who was standing in place, and was kicked out by that figure almost instantly. Seeing this scene, Shikamaru and Ninji couldn't help but be dumbfounded. Naruto, where did he come from? Quote. Ninji couldn't believe his eyes, but he had used his white eyes to probe Naruto's location earlier. But even his white eyes didn't find Naruto, and now Naruto suddenly appeared, which really shocked him. It also made him think of the scene where he lost to Naruto during the Chunin exam. That guy is actually alive. What's going on? Quote. Just when Ninji was stunned, Shikamaru stood up strongly. He soon found that Zuo on the opposite side seemed to be seriously injured. Obviously, Naruto made these things, but this result really made him unacceptable. In Shikamaru's impression, Naruto was a daredevil, in addition to being a bit of an idiot. Although he knew that there were 9 tails in his body, his strength was still not great. However, at this moment, Naruto defeated Zuo-jin, which really made Shikamaru feel incredible. And just when Shikamaru and Ninji were surprised, Naruto finally spoke again at the 4 of Otonobu. Hey, are you guys so strong? Then you may not be able to leave today. Now put Sasuke down immediately, and then follow me back to the village to be punished by the old woman. Naruto said and looked at the 4 Otonobu, and at this time, the Oto Shinobu 4 had a livid face. You must know that Zuo-jin is the strongest among them, but even Zuo-jin has suffered losses, and at this moment they finally realized that Naruto is not simple. This guy is weird. In the previous brief contact, I have been pressed and beaten by him. At this time, Zuo-jin also began to explain, and after hearing Zuo-jin's words, the other 3 couldn't help frowning. It seems that there is only the second state of using the spell seal. As Orochimaru spoke, he decisively unlocked the spell mark on his body. Seeing this, Jirobo and Tayuya also acted together. And as several of them unlocked the second state of the spell seal, the situation reversed again. Appeared the move they used just now. Quote. Naruto, be careful, they are strong in this state. Quote. Don't force it. Shikamaru and Ninji had suffered losses, and Yandingji were still in a coma. They were injured by the second state of the 4 people of Otonobu, and seeing the state of the 4 people on the opposite side at the moment, Shikamaru suddenly had palpitations. I have to say that this kind of spell mark made by the big snake pill is really quite strong. Almost in a short time, he could forcibly raise the strength of the 4 people of Gao Yin Shinobi. In such a state, even Naruto knew to deal with it carefully. So when Shikamaru's voice fell, Naruto decisively told them to retreat to safety first. And just as Naruto was about to make a big fight, there was a noise again in the forest not far away. As the sound got closer, a figure suddenly appeared in a nearby tree. Left near, what are you inking about? Quote. Lord Orochimaru can't wait. The figure slowly spoke at this time, and after hearing the voice, the 4 people couldn't help but get nervous. It was also at this time that Naruto also recognized the figure. Junmaru. Gee, blood succession limit. This guy has arrived, then our helper should also be coming soon. As soon as Naruto saw Junmaru, he thought of the plot in the original book. When Junmaru appeared, San no Ira should have been nearby. If Naruto had predicted correctly, this Junmaru would have died at the hands of Iroh. Naruto, what are you talking about? Where do we have helpers? Quote. Although Shikamaru was a little far away, he still heard Naruto's words. And just when Shikamaru looked puzzled, Finally Ira and Konkuro and Tamari instantly fell from the sky. At this time, seeing the three of my Ailuo appear, Shikamaru couldn't help frowning. Why are they here? Shikamaru said to himself. Of course I'm here to help you. Yo, Naruto-kun, are you okay? I want to fight with you and splurge my youth and blood. Just as the few people of my love Luo appeared, Shaoli's voice also sounded. It turned out that he had arrived with Ira and they had come to the aid of Shikamaru and Naruto. At this time, after hearing Shaoli's words, Shikamaru finally breathed a sigh of relief. Cut. Waste of time. Quote. On the big tree, Junmaru looked indifferently at the person who suddenly appeared below, and then decisively launched an attack. The next moment, I saw countless bone spurs instantly appear on the ground, heading straight for Naruto and them. Fortunately, everyone remained vigilant so as not to be injured by Junmaru's ninjutsu. And when Naruto and Iero both retreated to the side, Iero finally spoke at Naruto. Naruto-kun, leave that guy to me. Ailuo rushed out directly after speaking, still not much nonsense as before. Seeing his figure, Naruto couldn't help but smile. At the same time, the part of Naruto's body that Sand Morisuru also seemed to sense the existence of the body. Fortunately, it was quickly suppressed by the 9 llamas. I have to say that my Ailuo's appearance did make Naruto a lot easier. If he was left to face the 4 of Junmaru and Otobi alone, it would be really tricky. After all, that Junmaru's blood succession limit is not easy to deal with, and at this moment, with Ero dispersing his firepower, Naruto can concentrate on dealing with the 4 people of Atano. And just when Naruto was about to make a move with the 4 of Otonobu, Shaoli suddenly came over. Yo, Naruto-kun, I'll help you. The blood in my body has begun to boil. Shaoli was eager to try on the side, and a pair of eyebrows flew high. However, just when Shaoli wanted to intervene to deal with the 4 of Atano, Naruto shook his head. You better help me take care of a few of them. I'll take care of these guys. After Naruto finished speaking, he decisively rushed towards the 4 of Otonobu. Seeing this, the 4 Otobu on the opposite side decisively put down the barrel containing Sasuke, and then prepared to strike together. Hurry up and kill this guy. Go back and deal with Lord Orochimaru. Quote. Otherwise, Lord Orochimaru will be angry. Orochimaru was the first to strike as he spoke, and he was even crazier than before in the second state of the spell seal. From time to time, spider silk was spit out of his mouth to deal with Naruto, which immediately kept Naruto busy for a while. Just as Onitomaru made a move, Tayuya also took action. Taiyu also blew the flute in his hand under the second state of the spell seal. When the flute sounded, the illusion was activated almost instantly. It's not good, it's an illusion. A few of you step back a little further, be careful of the illusion. After Naruto shouted at Shikamaru and several people, he used an armed color domineering and directly armed his body. Under the blessing of the domineering color of the armed color, the flute sound was isolated a lot. In this way, no matter what kind of illusion can affect Naruto. Seeing that the illusion had little effect on Naruto, Tayuya used psychic. Under some psychic, 3 huge demons soon suddenly appeared. Seeing the 3 huge demons, Naruto frowned slightly. Okay, then let you taste my demonic wind feet. Naruto, with his armed color domineering, coupled with demonic wind feet, suddenly rushed to 3 huge demons. The next moment, I saw Naruto kick out, and the first huge demon was almost instantly lifted in half by the demon wind foot. Seeing this scene, not only Taiyu was shocked by Naruto's combat power, but even Shaoli in the distance widened his eyes. Oh, Naruto-kun, what kind of trick is this? That's awesome. Quote. That kick just now, it's not ninjutsu. A leg technique that is even more powerful than Kai-sensei. It's so hot-blooded. Quote. Shaoli's tears of excitement filled his eyes, and his adoration for Naruto added a little more. Compared to Shaoli, Shikamaru was also shocked at this time. They had been chased and beaten by the 3 huge demons before, but they didn't expect Naruto to solve one with one kick. And just when Shaoli Shikamaru was shocked, Naruto kicked 2 more demon wind feet in a row. Then I saw that the other 2 huge demons were instantly killed by Naruto. I have to say that Naruto's combat power is simply beyond Tayuya's expectations. Quote exclamation mark. How could this guy be so strong? Quote. Taiyu said unwillingly. To Yuya, you go and unleash enchantment. Here we will drag. Quote. Just when Yuya looked unwilling, Zuo Jin finally spoke. The next moment, I saw that Zuo near decisively woke up right near at this time, and right near also turned into powder at this time and began to dissipate in the air. Seeing from a distance that the head behind Zuo near disappeared, Naruto couldn't help but laugh. Ha, this guy is really a pervert. Quote, want his brother to turn right into powder and drill into my body and then devour my cells. What a dream. I have an armed color domineering body, it is still unknown whether you can enter or not. Quote. After Naruto finished speaking, he decisively used the spiral pill and threw it directly towards the left. One spiral pill was not enough, so Naruto threw out more than a dozen, also hitting the left near and dodging one after another. Until he couldn't dodge in time, Jirobo on the side finally began to summon a Tsuchido to fend off Naruto's attack. It was also at this time that the Ghost Boy pill on the side did not know when he had an extra bow in his hand. Try my killing bow, Orochimaru roared angrily, and the spider silk in his mouth immediately formed an arrow. Then I saw him hit the arrow on the bow and aim it at Naruto. Be careful, Naruto-kun. Quote, just as Orochimaru aimed his bow and arrow at Naruto, Xiao Li reminded loudly. Hearing Xiao Li's reminder, Naruto subconsciously opened his domineering. With the blessing of seeing the domineering color, Naruto captured all the movements of Onitomomaru almost instantly. So the moment his arrow was fired, Naruto decisively dodged over. Of course, Orochimaru did not believe in evil, and soon shot multiple arrows one after another, but all of them did not hit without exception. Seeing that his arrow was actually ineffective against Naruto, Orochimaru was furious. So with a big mouth, a huge cobweb immediately flew towards Naruto. At the same time, Onitong pill also quickly returned to the other three. No, this guy is too weird. Let's still use enchantment ninjutsu, you can't delay it any longer. Onitomaru said while looking at Yuya on the side. And when he looked at Yuya had already launched the 4 purple flame array. This move is the same trick that Orochimaru used to trap the 3 generations of Hokage. At the moment, it was used by Yuya on Naruto, which also made Shikamaru anxious. You know, they had seen with their own eyes how terrifying this formation was. So when this 4 purple flame array appeared, Shikamaru's faces were full of worry. However, Naruto at this time was unimpressed, and when the 4 purple flame array appeared, Naruto couldn't help but smile. 4 purple flame array, oh, so will I. Quote, Naruto directly used copy ninjutsu as he spoke. With the help of copying ninjutsu, the 4 purple yan array also fell on the 4 people of Odo ninjutsu. Seeing that they themselves were also trapped by the 4 purple yan array, the 4 people of Yin Ninja suddenly panicked. How so? How could he also be in the 4 purple flame array? Fake it. Quote. To Yuya, what the hell is going on? Quote. At this time, the 4 of Otobi began to quarrel. However, while the 4 were arguing, Naruto's side had already called up the 9-tailed chakra in his body. The arm formed by chakra also began to create a large jade spiral pill around Naruto at this time. Alas, 1,004, who can understand my toughness? Don't waste time with you. Send you on your way. Quote. After Naruto finished speaking, the great jade spiral pill threw it directly towards the 4 purple yan array. Because they were trapped by the 4 purple flame array, soon the 4 people of Otobi were left without bones under the attack of the great jade spiral pill. Seeing this scene, Shikamaru and the others could not calm down in their hearts for a long time. As a ninja of the same period, Shikamaru and the others did not expect that Naruto was actually so strong now. Before this, Naruto left everyone with the impression that he was a guy who loved to cause trouble but was at the bottom of the ranks. But at this moment, from Naruto, Shikamaru and the others saw an indescribable strength. This kind of strength is even comparable to those masters of the upper ninja level in the village, and even more so. You must know that when facing the 4 people of Odo Shinobi, I am afraid that many Sharingan will be difficult to deal with. Now Naruto single-handedly solved these 4 powerful guys, which is enough to prove Naruto's growth. This guy, when did it grow to this point? Quote, are we falling behind, or is he running ahead of us? Shikamaru couldn't help but muttered to himself, apparently he felt that he could no longer compare to Naruto. Despite being a contemporary, Naruto seemed to have been several places ahead of their group. This gap is not something that can be caught up in a while. When Xiao Li on the side reacted, he changed his previous enthusiasm and didn't know what he was thinking. Maybe he also realized the gap with Naruto, but he didn't know what to do. It was Ninji. At this time, when he saw Naruto so powerful, he was finally relieved. Previously, because Naruto defeated him in the crowd exam, he had always been worried. From beginning to end, in Ninji's eyes, Naruto was just the tail of a 10,000-year crane. But he never expected that the tail of the 10,000-year crane had now rushed to the forefront. In this way, I really lost before. I should try hard too, Naruto. I'll catch up with you. Quote. The corners of Ningxi's mouth rose slightly, and he had already made up his mind in his heart. Yo, after solving these troubles, it's time to take the second pillar back. Quote. Just as Shikamaru and Xiao Li and Ninji fell silent, Naruto finally turned his head. However, just as he was about to look for the barrel that sealed Sasuke, he found that the barrel had already been broken. Sasuke, who was sealed inside, had long since disappeared. Seeing this scene, Naruto naturally knew that Sasuke had probably completed the second state of the spell. In the original book, Naruto only let Sasuke leave after losing the second state of this spell. However, at this moment, Naruto was not worried about this so-called second state of the spell. I can't help but see that the current Naruto is not the Naruto in the original book. Hey, it seems that this battle is unavoidable, but it's okay, let the second pillar see the real gap between us. After Naruto said to himself, he looked at Shikamaru again. Leave it to me next, you guys go and see if I need help from Eluo. I'll go find Urzuzi to have a good talk. Naruto said and ran straight in the direction of the End Valley. Watching Naruto go to Sasuke single-handedly, Shikamaru wanted to stop him. However, when Shikamaru thought that Naruto's strength was already strong enough to keep up with Shinobu, he finally shook his head. In his opinion, perhaps it was right to believe Naruto now. If they follow, it may become a burden. Thinking of this, Shikamaru, Xiao Li, and Ningji finally put Dingji and Yaa on their backs and began to walk towards the other side. In the forest on the other side, the battle between Iroh and Junmaro has reached a fever pitch. I have to say that in the original work, the battle between the two strongest guys in the early stage is still very terrifying. By the time Shikamaru and them arrived, the scene was already disheveled. Both Junmaro and Iroh are also scarred. Seeing this, Xiao Li's blood suddenly gushed out, and then rushed forward. However, at this time, Xiao Li was simply not good at cooking, and he was almost instantly beaten out by Junmaro. Although Shikamaru and Ninji were injured, they were still able to help. But before they could make a move, they were already stopped by my arrow. You don't have to shoot. This guy is mine. Quote. Iluo attacked again as he spoke, and Junmaro finally drew a bone sword from his spine when he saw this. The pinnacle showdown between the two is on the verge of breaking out. On the other side, Naruto quickly came to the Valley of the End. Because of the use of the nine-tailed chakra, the speed was amazing. Standing in front of the two huge sculptures in the Valley of the End, Naruto couldn't help but sigh. It was here that Urzuzi embarked on that road of no return. This should be his destiny. Naruto jumped on one of the sculptures and waited for Sasuke's arrival. In the original book, when Naruto chased here, the two pillars happened to be on the opposite sculpture. But at the moment, apparently Sasuke hadn't arrived here yet, and Naruto was not in a hurry, sitting on top of the sculpture and waiting. The Valley of the End was originally the place where Uchiha and Senjuku fought each other. The two sculptures here are the seal of reconciliation that the two put on to end the fight. But Naruto was clear that from today onwards, there would be no more peace here. Just when Naruto looked at the two sculptures with some emotion, finally a figure in the distance landed on the other sculpture. That figure was none other than Sasuke, who was belated. At this moment, Sasuke's face and eyes changed, which should be because the second state of the spell seal was mastered by Sasuke. Looking at Sasuke's appearance of not being a ghost, Naruto couldn't help but feel helpless. Yo, you guy, it seems that you are going to find the big snake pill with an iron heart. Hatred and jealousy have blinded you, haven't they? Naruto spoke first, but when Naruto's words broke Sasuke's heart, Sasuke couldn't help but get angry. HMPH, you crane-tailed idiot, what do you know? You are not qualified to teach me a lesson. I advise you not to be nosy and go back to Konoha. Sasuke turned decisively as he spoke, looking ready to leave. But just when Sasuke was a little impatient, Naruto continued to speak. Hey, I'm not nosy, it's just that we are also companions no matter how we say. I'm here to remind you of a few words. Whether to go or leave it to you to decide. Naruto at this point said the real reason why Orochimaru wanted Sasuke to go to him. Naruto was all too familiar with the original book, and now he chose to tell Sasuke, leaving the choice to himself. However, after hearing Naruto's words, Sasuke laughed back without anger. Huh, do you think I'm that stupid? Of course I know what he wants to do to me, but as long as he can get stronger, I don't care. When I become stronger, I will kill him with my own hands. Sasuke seemed to be full of confidence, but in Naruto's opinion, he was just too obsessed with revenge. Naruto knew that he couldn't say anything about moving Sasuke back with him, and he didn't want to forcibly change the plot. So in the end Naruto sighed and stood up from the statue. Okay, then let's fight here and let you see the gap. Maybe it makes you more motivated. Naruto didn't really want Sasuke to be led by hatred, because sooner or later hatred would ruin him. In contrast, Naruto preferred that Sasuke was jealous of himself to desire greater strength. At least jealousy wouldn't make Sasuke lose his heart-like hatred. Of course, whether it can work or not depends on Sasuke's own understanding. At this time, Naruto had already put on a posture and was ready to strike. On the statue opposite, Sasuke couldn't help but sneer when he saw this. Hey, Wanian Crane Tail, do you think that only you have been improving recently? I'm not idle. I won't lose to you. Quote, you will always be my defeated subordinate. Sasuke obviously didn't think he was worse than Naruto now, especially after mastering the second state of the spell seal, he was even more confident. Feeling the power in his body, Sasuke was extremely excited at this time. Naruto, you don't know how strong I am now. Quote, this is what you have to ask for yourself. Sasuke directly chose to rush towards Naruto as he spoke, and the spell mark status on his body was immediately turned on. The next moment, I saw a huge wing-like arm immediately appear on Sasuke's body. That arm looked terrifying, and the power it contained in it was self-evident. If it were Naruto in the original book, I am afraid that I really can't cope with it at the moment. But now Naruto is different from the original, and now Naruto has mastered the tricolor domineering. There are also many ninjutsu bodies, and even the Nine Tails have chosen to cooperate with Naruto. With such strength, it was easy to deal with a Sasuke who had opened the second state of the spell seal. So when Sasuke rushed towards him, Naruto immediately used armed color domineering to arm his whole body. Oh, two pillars. It seems that you are still so arrogant. Quote, can't listen to anything at all. Come on, I'll carry you a trick, it's good for you. Naruto stood directly in place after covering his whole body with domineering. Seeing this, Sasuke did not show mercy, and directly bombarded Naruto's head with a punch. Seeing that Naruto did not dodge or dodge, Sasuke couldn't help but show an evil smile. However, just when he thought that his move would be able to injure Naruto, a shocking scene happened. The smoke cleared, and I saw Naruto standing in place intact, as if he had not been attacked at all. Looking at Naruto who had no scars on his body, Sasuke couldn't help but frown. How is it possible? How did you guy do it? Quote, my attack is so powerful. Are you actually alright? Quote. Sasuke looked puzzled, obviously unable to accept this fact. And just when Sasuke was stunned in place, Naruto couldn't help laughing. Haha, how's it going? Do you still think I'm the crane tail I used to be? Quote. It's time for me to strike next. As Naruto spoke, he directly used his demon wind foot and kicked towards Sasuke. Because the demon wind foot is not a ninjutsu, Sasuke does not care. However, just when Sasuke looked down on Naruto's foot, red flames appeared on Naruto's feet. Looking at the flame, Sasuke's pupils shrank, and he suddenly had a bad premonition. So the next moment, the arm behind his back quickly blocked. It's just that when that arm just stood in his way, Naruto's demonic wind foot had already kicked that arm off in an instant. Feeling the pain after his arm was broken, Sasuke couldn't help but let out a heart-rending cry. But fortunately, in the state of the spell seal, it has the ability to regenerate, and soon the arm recovers. "Are you doing this?" Quote. Sasuke couldn't believe that Naruto could injure himself with just physical techniques. With this level of attack, the whole Konoha he could only think of Kai could do it. It was shocking that Naruto was now able to reach Kai's level. Physical surgery. No, it's just an appetizer. Quote. Next, it is the strongest physical technique, the 8-gate Danzo. But I won't use all my strength, just open 5 doors to deal with you. Naruto knew very well that with his current strength, it was most appropriate to open the 5th gate. If he opened the 6th door, he couldn't control it, so at this time, he also decisively used the 8 doors of Danzo. Seeing that Naruto actually made 8 doors of Danzo, Sasuke did not dare to snub. Can't help but this strongest physical technique is not blown, he must seriously defend it. Thinking of this, Sasuke even used the power of the Sharingan to capture Naruto's attack. However, he still underestimated Naruto's speed under the blessing of domineering. Soon Naruto decisively rushed towards Sasuke when he opened the 5th door. Sasuke tried his best to prevent the blow, but failed. Rumble. Only listening to the Colossus, Sasuke was directly kicked by Naruto and flew until he hit the huge sculpture. When he stopped on the sculpture, Sasuke slid directly down the sculpture to the waterfall. Seeing this, Naruto rubbed out the big jade spiral pill in midair and hit directly towards the falling Sasuke. At this moment, Sasuke also felt the threat of getting closer and closer, and then he decisively used Chidori. In this way, Naruto was on top, Sasuke was below, and the two used ninjutsu almost at the same time. The next moment in a hurry, the attacks of the two directly collided together, and the entire End Valley began to tremble violently. I have to say that as two people who are inferior shinobi, being able to cause such a level of battle is beyond the scope of strength. Soon after the explosion, I saw Naruto slowly fall to the surface of the water, and Sasuke was slammed into the statue. Ahem. How so? I actually lost. Quote. Sasuke felt the pain all over his body and spoke in disbelief. To know that Chidori is the strongest ninjutsu he has mastered so far, but he lost in Naruto's hands, which really makes him a little unacceptable. At this time, seeing that Naruto on the water was still unharmed, Sasuke's heart was unbalanced again. So soon he braced his already injured body and stood up again, wanting to continue fighting Naruto. However, at this time, Naruto decisively used the sealing ninjutsu and trapped him. Looking at the sealing ninjutsu Naruto used, Sasuke looked surprised. You must know that when he was in the same class before, he had never seen Naruto use the sealing technique. Naruto, what do you want? Let me out. Quote. Sasuke was a little scared at this time, he finally decided to pursue stronger strength, he didn't want to be taken back. So at this time, he was also struggling in the sealing technique. Only at this time, Naruto did not pay attention to him at all, but continued to seal it. 2 pillars. As I said, let you know the gap between us. Quote. Now let's continue. As Naruto spoke, he used several more tricks to greet Sasuke. For a while, the entire End Valley was Sasuke's wail of pain, which sounded very mad. In the Valley of the End, Naruto unreservedly used most of his whole cards in front of Sasuke. These whole cards all left an indelible psychological shadow on Sasuke. Sasuke couldn't believe that Naruto in front of him could be so strong, which was completely inconsistent with before. As a former leader of his time, Sasuke knew very well that Naruto pinched himself now was like pinching an ant. This really hit his soul hard, and this kind of damage was even greater than the various injuries to his body. Seeing Sasuke's gaze gradually begin to dim, Naruto finally stopped. Phew, why, aren't you very disappointed, Urzuzi? Do you feel that all these years of hard work have been in vain? Do you still think I'm the tail of the 10,000-year crane? Naruto's words almost made Sasuke feel helpless, knowing that he was high and mighty before. Now that he was powerless to fight back in front of Naruto, it was simply a great irony of himself. And just when Sasuke's face was ashen, Naruto finally unsealed the seal on his body. Although Naruto used various tricks to strike at Sasuke before, they were all enough, so Sasuke was not seriously injured. It was okay to treat it a little, but at this time Naruto did not treat Sasuke. On the contrary, looking at Sasuke's face like a dead ash, Naruto was not happy. Gee, where is that cold and arrogant Urzu I knew before? Is that a confession? No way. Naruto continued to irritate Sasuke. And at this time, after hearing Naruto's words, Sasuke finally raised his eyes and looked straight at Naruto. From the look in his eyes, Naruto saw reluctance and anger. Ha, that's right, that's the look. Quote, this is your second pillar. Now you should know the gap between us. Quote, well, I'm too lazy to waste any more time with you, now you choose for yourself. Follow me back to the village, or continue on the path you want. Naruto eventually gave the choice to Sasuke himself. At the moment, Naruto could have taken Sasuke back, but that would change the course of the plot. So in order not to affect his own growth, Naruto decided to let Sasuke choose by himself. And after hearing Naruto's words, Sasuke was visibly stunned. Originally, he thought that if he lost at Naruto's hands, he would inevitably be taken back to the village. If he returns to the village this time, then I am afraid that he will never have another chance in the future. At that time, the people in the village are expected to think of him as a defector ninja, and it will be even more difficult to enter in any way. Originally, Sasuke had prepared for the worst, but who knew that Naruto actually gave the choice to himself? This really made Sasuke a little unexpected, but soon Sasuke made his own decision. Even if I die, I won't go back with you. I will definitely get stronger. I'll find you again. Quote, I will return all the shame today. Sasuke opened his mouth fiercely. Seeing that Sasuke was still so stubborn, Naruto couldn't help sighing. Alas, I guessed correctly. You are still the two-pillar. Quote, paranoia is terrible, hatred has made you unrecognizable. But that's fine. The path you choose, go for yourself. Quote, as a companion, I can only help you with this. Naruto slowly got up after speaking, and after taking one last look at Sasuke, he walked in the direction of the forest. Looking at Naruto's back, Sasuke couldn't help but lose his mind a little. For a while, he didn't know if his decision was right or wrong. At this moment, his heart was very complicated, and he seemed to have lost his way for a while. And just when Sasuke looked lost, Yakushi suddenly appeared behind him. Gee, I didn't expect that guy to have grown to this point. Sasuke-kun, don't you want to win over him? Quote, come to Lord Orochimaru, he will give you everything you want. After the medicine master finished speaking, he stretched out his hand at Sasuke, and Sasuke ignored him when he saw this, but stood up directly and resumed his indifferent expression. Let's go, take me to meet the big snake pill. After Sasuke finished speaking, he disappeared directly with his pocket. In the forest, Naruto quickly returned to Shikamaru and the others. At this time, the battle between Iroh and Junmaro had also been divided. After a brief meeting with Naruto, Iroh left with Kankuro and Temari. As for Naruto, he was already preparing to go back to the village with Shikamaru and them. Hey, why didn't Naruto bring Sasuke back? You're so powerful, aren't you also Sasuke's opponent? On the way back, Shikamaru asked. Regarding Shikamaru's inquiry, Naruto did not tell the truth. In his opinion, these are no longer important. Oh, Sasuke has someone around Orochimaru. They are all strong, I am not an opponent. Just come back. Quote. Naruto casually made up an excuse and prevaricated. It's just that Shikamaru couldn't help sighing when he heard it. Speaking of which, this is his first mission after becoming a Naka shinobi. However, the first mission ended in failure, and Dingxi and Ya were seriously injured, which made him very unhappy. Even at one point he began to doubt his abilities. Konoha village, soon Naruto and his group rushed back. After settling Dingxi and Ya, Shikamaru came to the office of the Goyome Hokage. In the office, after Shikamaru reported the mission, Tsunade did not blame them. But even so, Shikamaru still intends to give up being a ninja. Tsunade was surprised by Shikamaru's decision. However, just as Shikamaru made this decision, Naruto jumped out. Hey, Shikamaru, is your guy brain broken? Quote, do you know how powerful this brain of yours is? Give up being a ninja. Believe it or not, I reward you with a spiral pill to eat. Quote, Naruto knew all too well how important Shikamaru was in the later stage of the battle with Uchiha. It can be said that he is the strongest brain of the Ninja Alliance, and without him, more people will die. Thinking of this, Naruto said that he would stop Shikamaru from having such stupid thoughts. You guy, isn't it a mission failure? Haven't you heard that failure is success? It doesn't matter if you fail, it's important to have the courage to start over. Naruto said something in his head, which immediately embarrassed Shikamaru. Of course, what Naruto said, he also quickly listened to. I don't know why, he saw in Naruto a quality that others did not have. This quality suddenly made Shikamaru feel that everything he did was worth it. Is that what a partner is all about? Shikamaru thought to himself. At the same time, Tsunade also walked up to Shikamaru, and then smashed it with a punch. Quote exclamation mark. How can you say this nonsense as a ninja? Quote, get me out. Reflect 1,000 times. Quote, in Hokage's office, Naruto and Shikamaru fled in a puff of smoke as the 5th generation Hokage Tsunade ran away. But even after escaping the office, he still did not hide the bag full of heads. Looking at each other's bags that had been beaten out by Tsunade's mother-in-law, Naruto and Shikamaru both laughed. Ah, it hurts. Dead old woman. It's really ruthless. Quote. Naruto laughed as his mouth twitched. However, just as Naruto was speaking, several more books fell from the roof, almost hitting him on the top of his head. Seeing this, Naruto and Shikamaru did not dare to stay any longer, and directly rushed out of the Hokage office building and fled towards the village. The two embarrassed figures ran for most of the village in one breath before stopping. Naruto, thank you, I know what to do. Quote, after finally stopping to catch his breath, Shikamaru finally spoke again. After speaking, he directly stretched out his hand, and his face was a little more calm. Seeing this, Naruto also smiled and directly reached out and shook his hand. The two of them were silent, and then turned to leave. In this way, after separating from Shikamaru, Naruto wandered around the village again. However, just when Naruto was about to go home, a figure appeared at the intersection. This figure is very slim, and the shadows reflected on the ground reveal cuteness. And when Naruto approached, I saw that the figure ran over decisively, and then grabbed Naruto's collar and shook it. Naruto, what about Sasuke-kun? Why didn't he come back with you? Quote. And Shikamaru, that guy, didn't you say to bring back Sasuke-kun? Quote. Why didn't I see Sasuke-kun? Say quickly, what happened? Quote. The figure shook Naruto desperately while yelling. At this time, Naruto was already a little dizzy by his shaking, and his eyes rolled out the whites of his eyes. Big sister, you are lighter. I'm about to throw up. Quote. Naruto had already recognized that the woman in front of him was none other than Ino, who was in the same class as Shikamaru. Like Sakura, she is a Urzu brain-dead fan. Now that he hadn't seen Sasuke come back, he must have come to ask Koshi about his sin. Naruto didn't want to entangle her, so he pointed directly in the direction he came from and threw the pot to Shikamaru. Shikamaru is over there, you go and ask him, he's the captain. After Naruto finished speaking, he decisively broke free from Ino's hands, and then ran towards the distance. At this time, Ino did not care about chasing Naruto, but chased in the direction Shikamaru left. Naruto couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when he saw that Ino didn't follow. But just when Naruto thought it was okay, a figure suddenly appeared in front of him. This time the figure was dressed in red with a pink bow, and this was not Sakura. As soon as he saw Sakura, Naruto couldn't help but stop. Remembering that Sakura had asked him to bring Sasuke back before, Naruto couldn't help but feel a little helpless. But just when Naruto didn't know how to explain it to Sakura, Sakura cried. Naruto-kun, blame me for being too weak, otherwise I would be able to go after Sasuke-kun with you. If I could be stronger, maybe Sasuke-kun wouldn't have left. Sakura attributed Sasuke's departure to herself at the moment, which left Naruto speechless. In fact, Naruto knew very well that it didn't matter to anyone at all. From beginning to end, it was Sasuke who couldn't let go of hatred and was too jealous. Even bringing him back won't change anything. On the contrary, it will only breed more hatred in his heart, and then he will go crazy sooner or later. Instead of letting him stay in the village and go crazy, let him find something to do. Maybe when he becomes stronger, he will be able to face it calmly. In the original book, Naruto is actually very unacceptable to the instant whitewashing of the two pillars. But in this world, Naruto still has something to look forward to. Sakura, I don't blame you for this. This is the second pillar's own choice. Quote, since he chose to leave, he has to face all this himself. Those of us, as former partners, can only respect his choice. Naruto began to comfort Sakura, although he did not have a good impression of Sakura as he did in the original. But as a companion in the same class, Naruto didn't want Sakura to be sad like this. And when Naruto was enlightening Sakura, he didn't know when he appeared on the roof above. Hearing Naruto and Sakura's conversation, Jiraiya couldn't help but smile. This guy is quite good at coaxing girls. Hehe, let him be the protagonist in the next book. After saying a word to himself, he disappeared on the roof. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye, another day passed. After Naruto finished his mission, he decisively went home and slept hard. When he woke up the next day, Naruto wandered around the village bored. However, when Naruto appeared in the place where he usually practiced, he was taken aback. I don't know why, at this time, in the practice venue, almost all classes have arrived. And everyone is practicing desperately, even Ding Si and Ya, who have just returned from a mission and were injured, are among them. At this time, seeing Naruto appear, everyone's eyes couldn't help but gather. Yo, Naruto-kun, how to come? Quote, we've been waiting for you for a long time. Starting today, all of us are preparing to strengthen our cultivation and strive to catch up with Naruto-kun as soon as possible. Shaoli opened his mouth at Naruto. It turned out that the story of Naruto with one enemy and four had long been spread among them. After learning of Naruto's toughness, everyone was full of fighting spirit. In order not to hold back their companions, in order not to let their companions go to the point of no return, each of them is trying. Looking at these people's scrappy looks, Naruto couldn't help but be a little moved. This may be the true charm of Hokage. Everyone has an indelible will to fire. I really love these guys. Naruto thought to himself, and at this moment, Kakashi didn't know when he appeared behind Naruto. Yo, Naruto, according to intelligence, I heard that you made a big fuss at Gen's headquarters. Quote, how can you tell me about the specifics? As soon as Kakashi saw Naruto, he asked about the previous takeaway by Danzo. However, Naruto was not willing to disclose this matter. He couldn't tell Kakashi that he had beaten up that old guy in Danzo. It was better to keep the matter a secret for the time being, so Naruto quickly used the excuse of cultivation to escape. In Hokage's office, Jiraiya also appeared in front of Tsunade. Because of Sasuke's affairs this time, Tsunade was under a lot of pressure. For the heart disease of the big snake pill, she has always been worried. So in order to find out the information of the big snake pill, she was ready to send Jiraiya to carry out an S-class mission. The content of the mission is naturally to collect all the intelligence about the great snake pill in case of emergency. For the characters this time, Jiraiya, like Tsunade, felt very necessary. So he decisively agreed, but while accepting the task, Jiraiya also made suggestions to Tsunade. That was to take Naruto and Sakura on the mission together. After all, they were both Sasuke's companions and were more suitable. At first, Tsunade, who is Hokage, disagrees, but at Jiraiya's insistence, he eventually compromises. On the other hand, when Jiraiya took over the task of investigating Orochimaru, Naruto had been practicing with everyone all day. It wasn't until the evening that they went home. Naruto had always been a loner, so after finishing his practice, he walked in the direction of Ichiraku Ramen. However, as Naruto walked towards the ramen shop, he didn't know when a little tail followed. The little tail looked very cautious, afraid that Naruto would find out. However, Rao was so, and in the end Naruto found her. In order to find out who was following him, Naruto decisively used shadow doppelgangers, one left underground, and the other went up to the roof in an instant. Standing on the roof, Naruto's vision widened a lot, and he quickly caught the shadow following behind him. So the next moment Naruto directly prepared the spiral pill and rushed towards the shadow. In Naruto's consciousness, it is estimated that only Danzo in the entire village has been coveting him. So Naruto at the moment didn't plan to keep his hand. If it was really a rude person, he didn't mind making the other party crippled. However, just as Naruto rushed towards the shadow at a strange speed, he was suddenly attracted by the white eyes of the shadow. Seeing the white eyes, Naruto hurriedly put away the spiral pill in his hand. "Ah, Naruto-kun, what do you do?" Quote, just when Naruto wanted to contain the spiral pill, who knew that the spiral pill was not so easy to control at all. So the next moment, Naruto was directly wrapped in a spiral pill and hit Chang, looking extremely embarrassed. Fortunately, at this moment, a figure not far away came over and helped Naruto up. "Ah, it hurts, my head." Quote, Naruto couldn't help but grin. Seeing this scene, the figure couldn't help laughing. Just as the other person had a smile on his face, Naruto finally raised his head to look at her. "Hinata, what are you doing following me in the middle of the night? I thought I was a bad person. Almost hurt you, you know." Naruto stared at Hinata and couldn't help but speak, and when Naruto spoke, Hinata's face suddenly turned red. Seeing that slight blush rushing up Hinata's cheeks, Naruto couldn't help but raise the corners of his mouth. In the original book, Hinata has always had a crush on celebrities and eventually married Naruto. At this time, looking at Hinata's shy look, Naruto was suddenly full of joy. "Hey, Hinata, do you like me? If you like it, say it out loud. Don't hide it, otherwise it will be very uncomfortable." Quote, "Come on, it's Ichiraku ramen in front, can I treat you to ramen?" Naruto knew very well that Hinata would be his wife from now on, so he was not polite. However, she forgot Hinata's natural introversion and shyness. At this time, after hearing Naruto's words, Hinata almost buried her head in the ground. "Ah, Naruto-kun, what are you talking about?" Quote, I just saw that you were injured while practicing, so." Hinata said as she pulled out the medicine from her body to treat her injuries and handed it to Naruto. It's just that when she handed the medicine to Naruto, her face turned even redder, and even her hands shook. It was enough to see how shy she really was at the moment. However, the more shy Hinata became, the more Naruto wanted to tease her. In Naruto's opinion, since he is destined to be his wife, why not exercise his husband's rights earlier? So after receiving Hinata's medicine, Naruto couldn't help but smile. Haha, Hinata will still feel sorry for me. I really don't understand why that idiot likes Sakura. Naruto couldn't help but scold the fool Naruto in the original. Speaking of which, in Naruto's mind now, Hinata is 100 times and 1,000 times better than Sakura. Hinata's gentleness is simply what most men dream of, and almost any man can't resist. However, it is a pity that the current Hinata is still too small, otherwise she is definitely a big beauty. That, Hinata, I think you still look good with long hair. Promise me, is it okay to have long hair in the future? Remembering Hinata's long hair in the original book, which looked particularly gentle, Naruto couldn't help but move. And just when Naruto said these words to Hinata's face suddenly became even hotter. So the next moment, she no longer had the courage to stay, turned around and ran towards the distance. Looking at Hinata's appearance of running away because of shyness, Naruto couldn't help but laugh. Hehe, it seems that this little Nizi really can't help but amuse. Forget it, let's continue to strengthen my relationship with her another day. What we have to do now is to get stronger quickly. Don't organize those guys to come every day, it's hard to even protect yourself. Quote. After Naruto said a few words to himself, he walked into the Ichiraku ramen shop with the medicine Hinata had given him. After simply eating the bowl of noodles, Naruto decisively went home and rested. Early the next morning, just as Naruto wanted to go to practice with his friends, Jiraiya's figure appeared outside his window. Yo, Naruto, the sun is basking in the ass, get up quickly. Quote. Jiraiya shouted into the room, and hearing Jiraiya's voice, Naruto couldn't help but walk out. Toad Immortal, come to me early in the morning, is there something wrong? Quote. Naruto had already guessed where the plot was going next, so he couldn't help but ask. It has to be said that as long as the plot is not affected too much, then everything is under Naruto's control. As long as he followed the plot, Naruto felt that he would soon become stronger. And just when Naruto asked, Jiraiya couldn't help but laugh. "Ha, Naruto, you guy is quite smart. Let's go, let's perform S-class missions together. Go around the old nest of the big snake pill." Jiraiya said the content of the task. Naruto nodded slightly when he saw this, and then prepared to go out. And at this moment, the system prompt sound in my mind also remembered again. Ding. Detected that the host is facing a choice. Quote. Option 1. Accept S-level missions and achieve results. Mission reward. Dirt rebirth. Option 2. Reject S-class tasks. Mission reward. Random devil fruit. At this time, as the system prompt sounded, Naruto couldn't help but be stunned in place. And the reason why Naruto was stunned was because the reward this time was somewhat unexpected to him. Looking at the two choices in his mind, Naruto couldn't help but hesitate a little. After all, the rewards of these two choices seem to be very good. No matter which one you choose, the one who gives up will feel a pity. Dirt rebirth. Wow, this ninjutsu is forbidden. Naruto was well aware of the perversion of the ninjutsu of the reincarnation of dirt. Orochimaru once used this ninjutsu to resurrect two legendary ninjas between the Thousand Hands Pillar and the Thousand Hands Pillar. Although there will be certain restrictions on the seriousness of the rebirth of the soil, the combat effectiveness is no joke. At this time, Naruto was already fantasizing about resurrecting the scene if he found the first and second generation Hokage. Hey, it should be a very good thing to have these two as bodyguards by my side. In that case, there is no need to worry about being remembered by the organization all the time. Naruto knew that although he was also very strong now, he still couldn't stand the group of people in the Shao organization. You must know that those guys in the Shao organization are all perverts, and if they go all out, they may not really win. But if you have the protection of two Naruto-level ninjas, it will be different. Even if the organization comes 7 or 8, don't worry. Thinking of this, Naruto became more and more excited about the rebirth of the soil. But when he looked at the second reward, Naruto's eyes still lit up. Although the reward for this choice does not give the specified devil fruit, there are some random ingredients. But in Naruto's opinion, as long as it is a demon fruit, it has its power. For example, the shining fruit of the yellow ape, or the shock fruit of the white-bearded, or the fruit of the immortal bird of the pony. No matter which of these fruits, as long as they are developed, they are invincible. As soon as he thought of this, Naruto felt a little nervous. Of course, it is also possible that luck is weak, and a random serving fruit or the like, then it will not be worth the loss. Speaking of this service fruit, the biggest use should be cross-dressing, and the rest is useless. However, Naruto believed that if he really chose, his luck would definitely not be so bad. Looking at the two choices in his mind at this time, Naruto was a little difficult to decide for a while. Combined with this S-class mission, in fact, whichever one to choose is the same for Naruto. Because he knew the subsequent plot in advance, Naruto knew what the outcome of this mission would be. And just when Naruto was a little hesitant, Sakura's voice suddenly sounded downstairs. Naruto-kun, let's practice together. Stop sleeping in. Sakura shouted at the window of Naruto's house, not knowing that Jiraiya was standing on the roof opposite. And when Naruto heard Sakura's voice, he immediately remembered Sakura's crying face before. As a companion, Naruto certainly didn't want to see Sakura always cry because of Nizu. Although he didn't like Sakura, he still had the heart to pity Shangyu. Besides, Naruto didn't know if this S-class mission would affect too much plot direction if he didn't take it. So after some deliberation, Naruto still made his choice. Okay, I choose the first one. After Naruto made up his mind, he finally walked out of the room. At this time, Jiraiya had already come to Sakura. Yo, little girl, come to illuminate people so early. That kid already called him just now. By the way, are you coming when we go out of the S-class mission? Quote. There is just one person missing, let's investigate the big snake pill. Jiraiya opened his mouth at Sakura like a fool. At this time, hearing Jiraiya's words, Sakura couldn't help but widen her eyes and look incredulous. She never expected that such an important thing as performing an S-class task would be said casually like this. Know that in the ninja world, any mission performed is a secret. However, it was as if he didn't care about this at all. which couldn't help but make Sakura's hair full of black lines. However, the thought of investigating Orochimaru finally moved Sakura to the end. Can I really go? Sakura was obviously a little unconfident. After all, this was an S-class mission, and only Shang Shinobu was qualified to take it. Now Zilai also invited her to go with this shinobi. I really don't know if it's real or fake. Just as Sakura looked at Jiraiya expectantly, Naruto finally jumped down from the stairs. Yo, Toad Immortal, here we go. Quote, also, Sakura, let's go together. There is a Toad Fairy, he will protect us. Quote. Naruto knew that Sakura really wanted to find Sasuke, so he planned to take her with him. At Naruto's invitation, Sakura finally nodded heavily. Thank you Naruto-kun. Quote, Sakura was a little excited at the moment, and there was already a little mist in her eyes. Seeing this scene, the people on the side couldn't help but spread their hands. Hey, I took the task. You two are just my subordinates, if you want to thank me, you should also thank me. Jiraiya pouted after speaking, obviously despising Naruto for stealing his limelight. But at this moment, Naruto pointed in the direction of Ichiraku Ramen, and then strode away. I'll treat Ichiraku Ramen before I go, otherwise I won't have to eat when I go out. On the other side, just as Naruto, Jiraiya and Sakura formed a squad to explore Orochimaru's old den, Sasuke had already seen Orochimaru. Because Orochimaru did not wait for Sasuke's container, he was forced to find a person in the experimental product and reincarnate. As a result, he would have to wait a few more years before he could be reborn, giving Sasuke a chance to grow. What the big snake pill could not have imagined in his life was that the container he cultivated would eventually be the one who killed him. And just when Orochimaru was preparing to cultivate Sasuke, in another mysterious cave, a group of people wearing red auspicious cloud robes were meeting at the moment. Among these people, Uchiha Itachi and dried persimmon Oni are two people who are prominently listed. At this moment, the man at the head was giving them the order to capture all the tailed beasts. A hunt with the theme of hunting tailed beasts began, and everyone, including Naruto, became their target. In Konoha village, Naruto and Jiraiya left the village decisively after eating ramen. According to reliable information, the three trekked all the way and soon reached the town near Tanokoku. Tano-kuni is where Orochimaru's lair is located, and although this is a small country, there is still a group of Odo ninja. Most of these Odo ninja have now become vassals of Orochimaru. In order to get information, Naruto and Jiraiya had to deal with the local Wind Demon clan. Because of the war, many of the Wind Demon clans of Tianji country have become bandits. Fortunately, the strength of these bandits is not very strong, so as not to cause trouble for Naruto and them. Inside a temple near Tanokuni, Naruto and Sakura are waiting for Jiraiya. Because of the complicated situation here, Jiraiya also went to investigate alone. And just as Naruto and Sakura were waiting for Jiraiya, a ninja appeared in the sight of the two. And the ninja was obviously injured, and Sakura couldn't help but want to treat the other party when she saw this. Naruto still knows the plot in the original book very well, so he can't help but raise his vigilance. Sakura, let me come, I'll heal ninjutsu. Naruto walked directly towards the ninja as he spoke. And just when Naruto came to the ninja, he saw Naruto directly strike and press her to the ground. Instead of treating her, he forcibly tied her up. Seeing this scene, Sakura on the side couldn't help but look puzzled and questioned Naruto. Naruto, what are you doing? Why hurt him? Quote, Sakura tried to step forward to untie the rope on her hand, but was stopped by Naruto. Soon, while Naruto and Sakura were catching the ninja, finally 3 more people appeared outside the temple. As soon as the 3 arrived, they attacked Naruto and Sakura had to respond. However, where the 3 ninjas were Naruto's opponents, they were soon injured by Naruto and fled. After seeing off the 3 ninjas, Naruto returned to the temple. However, at this time, Sakura was held hostage by the ninja who was caught by them. Seeing this scene, Naruto couldn't help but sigh helplessly. Alas, you're a wind devil, right? Quote, I know you're trying to capture us to meet Orochimaru and exchange it for your brother, right? Well, shall we make a deal? You take us to the old den of the big snake pill, and we will help you rescue your brother. Quote, Naruto was straight and opened his mouth at the ninja. And just as Naruto said this, the ninja obviously felt a pang of stun. She didn't expect Naruto to know so much about her. But thinking about it carefully, it may be revealed by the guys who were beaten away outside, and the wind demon drawer reluctantly let go of his hand. In fact, she didn't want to do this, so after being revealed by Naruto, she knelt directly on the ground. Please help me, I know you are very good ninjas. Save my brother Arashi. He was captured by the big snake pill, woohoo. Quote. Wind demon drawer's face was already covered with tears at this time. Seeing the wind demon tears crying, even Sakura couldn't help but sympathize. Naruto-kun, what the hell is going on? Sakura finally asked, and under Sakura's questioning, Naruto had to explain. When she learned that the girl named Wind Demon Drawer in front of her had been taken away by Orochimaru as a test product, Sakura couldn't help but think of Sasuke. Thinking that Sasuke was also lured by Orochimaru and could become a test product, Sakura couldn't help but become angry. The next moment, I saw Sakura walk directly over and lift the Wind Demon Drawer up from the ground. Don't worry, we won't let go of the big snake pill. Can you take us to the old nest of the big snake pill now? Sakura tried to communicate with the wind drawer, and the wind drawer couldn't help but nod. She knew very well that she could not save her brother with her own strength. So at the moment, only hope was pinned on Naruto and them. And just when the wind demon drawer agreed to take Naruto and them to the great snake pill's lair, Jiraiya finally rushed back. Yi also brought back the same information this time, so a few people briefly discussed and prepared to leave. The lair of the big snake pill is hidden deep in the forest, and the entrance leads directly underground. If no one led the way, Naruto they would be really hard to find. Fortunately, there was a wind demon drawer to lead the way, and soon several people came to the entrance of the lair. Only when they were ready to enter, they ran into trouble again. It turned out that there were 3 different directions at the entrance, and no one knew which direction was correct. So in order to figure out the real entrance, Naruto and Jiraiya had to go their separate ways. Naruto also knows everything about the plot here, so he follows Sakura from the beginning. When Naruto and Sakura entered one of the entrances, they soon encountered various traps. In order to lure out the person who had been manipulating behind the scenes, Naruto had to pretend to fall into a trap and followed Sakura. Sakura saw that Naruto had fallen into a trap and had to continue walking on her own. Soon a figure appeared in front of her, one of the 3 ninjas who had escaped earlier. Seeing this, Sakura fought with each other, while Naruto was always in the shadows. The reason why he didn't come out to help was because Naruto knew that Yakushi was hiding somewhere and watching. Naruto's target was none other than Yakushi, and that guy was the trickiest. As for the ninja Sakura was facing at the moment, Naruto believed that Sakura was enough to cope. The battle below was still raging, and Naruto hid himself in the darkness. It didn't take long for Sakura to gain the upper hand. And just when Sakura had the upper hand, finally a figure suddenly rushed out, and then decisively shot at Sakura. At this time, seeing the figure appear, the corners of Naruto's mouth couldn't help but curl. Gee, Sakura, see you again. The person who suddenly appeared was none other than Yakushi, who was licking his lips with his tongue at the moment, and he looked really disgusting. Maybe it's because I've been staying with the big snake pill for a long time that I learned such a stinky problem. And just as Yakushi appeared, Sakura visibly panicked. For this guy Yakushi, Sakura is still very jealous. Seeing that Sakura's eyes were full of horror, Yakushi became more and more proud. Haha, don't be afraid, Sakura, don't you want to see Sasuke? Shall I take you to meet him? Yakushi held out a hand at this point, waiting for Sakura to walk towards him. Hearing Sasuke's name at this time, Sakura couldn't help but lose a little measure. Concern was chaotic, and at the moment Sakura was clearly distracted by Sasuke's news. Seeing Sakura stunned in place, the medicine master couldn't help but smile evilly, and then rushed directly at Sakura. The next moment, I saw that the kunai in his hand pierced directly towards Sakura's chest. If it was a hit, Sakura would surely die. However, just as Yakushi was trying to solve Sakura with such a despicable means, Naruto finally rushed out at a very fast speed. Bang! Only listening to a loud noise, Naruto kicked Yakushi's body. Before Yakushi could even get close to Sakura, he was kicked out. Lang Budding was kicked by Naruto, and the medicine master was caught off guard and directly hit the wall. The next moment, I saw a trace of blood oozing from the corner of his mouth, which made him embarrassed. Ahem, Naruto, it's you again. Quote, at this moment, Yakushi had already remembered the scene where he had lost to Naruto before. I have to say that incident has always been a problem in his heart. After all, he is also Naruto's senior, but this senior lost to the tail of the Wanyan crane, and it is really a shame to say it. Ha, senior, long time no see. You're still the same as before, so vulnerable. Naruto saw the medicine master staring at him deadly, and couldn't help but speak. And just as Naruto's voice fell, the medicine master couldn't help but snort coldly. Obviously he was not used to being taunted like this. In the past, he used to mock others, but now he is really uncomfortable with switching positions. I haven't seen it for a long time. Quote, Naruto, your progress really impresses me. However, here today is where you are buried. No one wants to get out alive. Quote, after Yakushi finally eased up from Naruto's kick from earlier, he walked up to Naruto again. As he spoke, he had already begun to make small movements, ready to control Naruto's heart with a chakra thread. However, just when the medicine master pocket made some small movements in private, Naruto had already turned on the armed color domineering. With the blessing of the armed color domineering, the chakra line of the medicine master pocket could not get close to Naruto's body at all. Gee, why does Senior 2 still like to do small movements behind his back? That's not good. It seems that you are too mean. Quote, if you want to kill me, you might as well come generously. Naruto had already used the demon wind foot as he spoke, and directly kicked towards the medicine master again. Yakushi originally wanted to block it, but when he saw that Naruto's feet actually had fire on them, he couldn't help but marvel. The next moment, I saw Yakushi retreat decisively and distance himself from Naruto. And at the moment he retreated, Naruto's demonic wind foot kicked directly on the pillar on the side. The pillar was almost instantly kicked to pieces by Naruto, and seeing this scene, the medicine master couldn't help but feel palpitations. You can actually do this with physical skills. Naruto, you are really different from ordinary people. Quote, I did the truth to use you as my subject, but it doesn't seem to be that easy. After the medicine master followed the big snake pill, he did not use live people to do experiments. There were already countless people who died at his hands, and at this moment he became more and more interested in Naruto. Especially when he thought of the existence of the 9 tails in Naruto's body, he longed even more. However, now the gap between his strength and Naruto is not a little, and it is not an easy thing to catch Naruto. However, even so, it could not change the thoughts in his heart. At this time, when the medicine master coveted Naruto's body, Naruto couldn't help but smack his lips. Senior you, it's not that I've improved, it's that you've regressed. It seems that here in the Great Snake Pill, you didn't practice well. In this case, follow me back to the wood industry, and I will teach you ninjutsu and physical arts, okay? Naruto said as he turned on the domineering look. Obviously what this guy Yakushi is best at is confusing people. Don't look at him talking to himself at this time, maybe he is doing some small action. And just when Naruto turned on the domineering look, sure enough, the chakra line of the medicine master pocket had already controlled the previous ninja. The ninja was already ready to strike at Sakura at this time, and as long as he took Sakura, Naruto would naturally have to tie his hands. After sensing Yakushi's intentions, Naruto decisively used the spiral pill and smashed it towards Yakushi's chakra thread. In an instant, the chakra line of the medicine man's pocket had not yet been adjusted, and he was a little flustered by Naruto's blow. Seeing this, the medicine master looked gloomy, and his heart was very unhappy. However, he soon found that he could not defeat Naruto at all. So the next moment he gave up continuing to attack, but decisively ran towards the darkness. Seeing that Yakushi was preparing to escape, Naruto and Sakura immediately chased after him. However, just as the two chased into the dark history, a huge figure suddenly jumped out. As soon as the black shadow appeared, it startled Naruto and Sakura. Wow, Naruto-kun, what kind of monster is this? Sakura couldn't help but shout at this time, and behind Sakura, suddenly the figure of the Wind Demon Drawer jumped out. As soon as the Wind Demon Drawer appeared, he showed an excited expression towards the huge black shadow. "Brother Lan, is that you?" Wind Demon Drawer obviously recognized the monster. It was his brother Arashi. It's just that when he talked to the monster on the other side, the monster on the opposite side suddenly attacked her. Seeing that this blow was about to kill the Wind Demon Drawer, Naruto decisively rushed forward. "Be careful." After Naruto snorted coldly, he directly hugged the Wind Demon Drawer. The next moment, the armed color domineering instantly opened, and it blocked this blow. However, despite blocking the blow, Naruto and Wind Demon Drawer were still knocked out, enough to see how strong the monster was. "Oh, Naruto, now you see how good I am, right? I made this guy. How? Enjoy the pleasure of being abused." Quote. Just as Naruto was being knocked away by that monster, the voice of the medicine master suddenly sounded. Apparently the guy was hiding in the shadows and watching Naruto, ready to strike at Naruto at all times. However, how could Naruto easily admit defeat? So after handing over the Wind Demon Drawer to Sakura, Naruto decisively performed the surgery again. This time, Naruto directly used the Great Jade Spiral Pill and attacked the monster that Arashi had turned into. And just as Naruto's attack hit Arashi's body, his body instantly began to fission. Seeing this scene, Naruto couldn't help but frown. This guy actually split into 3 heads. Naruto couldn't help but feel a little disgusting at this time, especially the bruises on the monster's body, which was even more uncomfortable. And just as Naruto looked at the monster warily, the monster finally began to split into pieces of flesh again. This time, as the pieces of meat split, the monster rushed towards Naruto again. However, just as he was about to rush to Naruto, the Wind Demon Drawer suddenly rushed over and stopped in front of Naruto. "Brother Arashi, it's me. You wake up." Quote. The Wind Demon Drawer shouted at the monster. Hearing the shouts of the Wind Demon Drawer, the monster paused first, as if it had a slight reaction. But soon the monster bombarded down with a punch for 100 years, without leaving a hand. Seeing this scene, Naruto decisively pressed a spiral pill on the monster's fist, knocking pieces of his flesh everywhere. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.